Chapter 301. Coming to the vicinity of the giant cave again, it was completely silent, without a single crystalline creature. Captain, it seems we can only find the answer by going down into the giant cave. Chen Yu pondered for a while, considering many potential problems. Even if there really were those black behemoths below, they wouldn't have much impact on the Millennium Falcon. Intelligent brain, now that we haven't found those crystalline monsters, could it be because we emitted many pulse jammers when we left before? It's possible. That kind of pulse jammer can make those crystalline monsters kill each other, but their corpses are all gone. They should have been devoured by more powerful crystalline life forms. Suddenly, Chen Yu had a bad premonition. Forget it, we'll only know what happened here before by going down. Thus, the Millennium Falcon, under the control of the intelligent brain, slowly descended into the giant cave. 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. The space below the giant cave became larger and larger. The surrounding jagged stone walls, which were previously densely packed with crystalline monsters, were now completely empty. Just as the Millennium Falcon probed dozens of kilometers underground into the cavernous space. Suddenly, dense red dots appeared on the Millennium Falcon's command room screen. Are they here? Captain, according to the characteristic pulse radar scan, a large number of those non-carbon-based creatures have gathered around us, and the fluctuations on their bodies are very different from those of the previous crystalline monsters, and they are quite huge. Under the strong light of the Millennium Falcon, Chen Yu finally saw the true appearance of those things. Damn, they're really ugly. The four wives standing behind Chen Yu exclaimed in fright. Ah, Chen Yu, what is that ghostly thing? It's so disgusting. Why does it look like a dead octopus? So ugly. They are so big, so creepy. Hubby, little Jia is scared. Hug me. Those ghostly things looked like giant octopuses, with many joints on their bodies and covered with sharp thorns. Each one was about dozens of meters in size. Where did these ghostly things come from? Chen Yu had a guess in his mind. Intelligent brain, do you think these crystalline monsters are the new type of monsters formed on this planet after we launched pulse weapons, causing them to kill each other, and then recombining and devouring each other? Captain, it should be as you said. That's troublesome. There are too many of them. Just as Chen Yu finished speaking, he heard a loud noise from the outside of the spaceship. Presumably, those giant monsters were colliding with the Millennium Falcon. Detect the damage and the power of those ghostly things. Captain, those things have a certain intelligence. They know that our spaceship is very hard, so when they hit our spaceship, their bodies will undergo changes and become a super hard substance. Will it affect our spaceship's hull? Not for the time being. Maybe they haven't found a material that can damage our hull yet, but once they try out a substance that can damage our hull, these things will pose a threat to our spaceship's hull. Humph, these ghostly things, do they think we only have this little defense? Intelligent brain, turn on the defensive shield. Okay, Captain. Previously, in the area a few kilometers below the cave entrance, the space was narrow. The Millennium Falcon could not activate the protective shield, but now the deeper it went, the more enormous the space became. Then the Millennium Falcon could directly activate the protective shield. Chapter 302. Currently, the Millennium Falcon's shields have multiple levels. Even at the lowest level, it can easily withstand these ugly creatures. As expected, a blue shield lit up around the Millennium Falcon. Those giant crystal monsters couldn't even get close, as they were directly bounced away by the shield. The reason it works so well is that the AI has added a special pulse radiation device to the shield. Alright, you beasts attacked my ship earlier, now it's my turn to retaliate. AI, prepare weapons, give me fire. Understood, Captain. Around the Millennium Falcon, laser cannons extended one by one. They locked onto the densely packed crystal monsters. Rumble. Those creatures that rushed forward were blasted apart. But what frustrated Chen Yu and the AI was that the shattered crystal substance would re-devour and reform. Forming even larger crystal monsters, this was simply impossible to kill or exterminate. Damn it! Looks like we can't get entangled with these things, let's go straight to the Earth's core, release the gravity bomb, and completely blow up this planet. Understood, Captain. The Millennium Falcon continued to dive downwards. And as the Millennium Falcon descended deeper and deeper, the scene they saw became even more astonishing. Beneath the ground, there was actually a vast space. AI, detect the radiation level and depth here. Captain, the current depth has reached 300 kilometers underground, the temperature is 50 degrees Celsius, and the radiation level is 80 million sieverts. Chen Yu was shocked, the radiation level here was already 10 times that of the cave entrance. With this amount of radiation, an ordinary person exposed to it would turn into a pool of blood in less than 3 seconds. I am currently a late-stage star rank 4 life form, how long can I stay in this radiation? Captain, based on your current body level, this environment has basically no effect. According to our civilization's rank 7 experience, the physical strength of a late-stage star rank 4 life form can withstand a radiation intensity of 1 billion sieverts. The current radiation level is not enough to pose a threat to you. What kind of situation would produce a radiation level of 1 billion sieverts? If you were exposed to the vacuum of space, within 1 light-year of the polar rays of a neutron star, you could reach this level of radiation. Also, being hit by a gamma-ray burst from a nearby supernova explosion would be close to or even exceed 1 billion sieverts. Chen Yu nodded. Even if he was walking and flying in the deep space of the universe, it was impossible for him to be so unlucky as to be hit by a nearby gamma-ray burst. Also, he would never get close to the poles of a neutron star. A neutron star is a celestial body that almost formed a black hole, so it is naturally extremely terrifying. Alright, continue to explore downwards, and by the way, find out the reason why this 80 million light-year diameter area is a void. I think these secrets are all in the depths of the ground. Captain, those black monsters have appeared. Sure enough, on the holographic screen of the Millennium Falcon's command room, Chen Yu finally saw something high-tech. Those were black spaceships, and their appearance was consistent with the style of this planet. They were eerie and black. These creatures, after obtaining the technology of my rank 7 civilization ancestors, created such an ugly thing? It really is a waste of our technology. Indeed, their aesthetics are just like that. Even if they are given good technology, they can only create such ugly things. Captain, they are requesting to communicate with you. Humph, good, I have many questions to ask them. Chapter 303. Communication established. Chen Yu saw the other party's appearance on the holographic screen in the command room. It was a ghostly thing, pitch black all over, with a torso and limbs. 2 crystal-like spheres on its head, resembling eyes. Similar to the black behemoth he had seen before. Speak, what else do you want to discuss with me? Outlander, I am the ruler of the Black God Star's underground world. Didn't you promise us that you would leave our planet once you obtained the remains of your kind? Why have you returned now? Heh, don't you know why I've returned? What do you want to do? Humph, what did you do about 10,000 years ago? Outlander, we didn't do that. It's written very clearly on the stone tablet, and you even attempted to erase the words on it. My clansmen probably left something behind. Indeed, the words on the stone tablet were in another language of a level 7 civilization, different from the language in the technology that clansmen taught them. Those black behemoths had no idea what was written on it. What will it take for you to leave our planet? It's simple, annihilate all of you to avenge my clansmen. You can't do that. You probably didn't expect me to come here either. Oh right, I want to ask you a question. What question? If we answer, will you leave? I can consider it. Then ask away. Did your planet once have a powerful civilization? Why is it that within such a vast area of 40 million light-years Indiana radius, centered on your planet, there isn't even a single planet? This, I can only answer half of your question. We have indeed discovered other civilizations deep underground on our planet. These are remnants left from billions of years ago, which we can only determine by measuring radioactive materials using isotopes. Chen Yu nodded. Indeed, those civilization products from billions of years ago might have dissipated into a pile of dust even in a vacuum. The time is too long. According to the law of increasing entropy, technological products from billions of years ago will themselves undergo atomic decomposition, turning into disordered particles. Moreover, this planet is still a planet from the formation of the ancient universe. Those particles that have turned into dust, without new external forces, will become countless atoms scattered across this planet. Chen Yu realized that it would be impossible to learn the secret of why there were no other planets within these tens of millions of light years from this black ghostly thing. They themselves didn't know, and with their crude technology, they probably couldn't explore it either. Alright, there's no need for you to exist anymore. Since you killed my clansmen, be prepared to die. Chen Yu didn't waste any more words and directly controlled the spaceship to continue descending. At this moment, the densely packed black spaceships of the other side finally began to move. Humph, are you going to fight me? Your technology was all taught to you by that level 7 civilization clansman 10,000 years ago. I believe he wouldn't have given you any good technology. AI, destroy all those spaceships for me. Yes, Captain. Chapter 304. The laser cannons of the Millennium Falcon extended in all directions. Rumble. Beams of laser fire erupted. Those black spaceships were indeed woefully inadequate in combat power, not even reaching the level of Chen Yu's attack ships from Earth. After destroying most of the black spaceships, the Millennium Falcon continued its descent. Because the gravity bombs created by the AI had relatively small yields, detonating them deeper underground would result in greater power. Especially since this planet's diameter was several times that of Earth, it was even more necessary to delve deep underground. If it were to destroy a planet like Earth, with a diameter of only a little over 10,000 kilometers, detonating it directly on the surface would completely obliterate the Earth. AI, given this planet's diameter and the yield of our gravity bombs, how deep should we descend to unleash the full power of the gravity bombs? Approximately 1,000 kilometers underground. Alright. It seems this giant hole directly connects to the Earth's core, truly marvelous. After heavily damaging the Black Monster's fleet, the Millennium Falcon continued to descend. Just at that moment, a loud crash came from above. Captain, those black monsters must have destroyed the hollow space above, we're probably buried. What do we do now? No need to worry. With our spaceship's firepower, we can just pick a direction and activate the annihilation beam, and we'll be able to carve a path out directly. Alright, then don't worry about them, continue descending. After another 10-odd minutes of descent, they had reached a depth of 1,000 kilometers underground. The temperature here was already as high as 2,000 degrees Celsius, and an ordinary person would be charred if they stepped out of the airlock. Not to mention the radiation level here had reached 90 million sieverts. This was practically an environment in which ordinary carbon-based life forms could not survive: high temperature, high pressure, and high radiation. If you were to ask what hell looks like, this place could be used as a reference. However, even in this kind of environment, it was still a piece of cake for the Millennium Falcon. At 2000 degrees Celsius, even iron would melt on Earth, but it had no effect on the Millennium Falcon's hull whatsoever. Moreover, its internal operations were running smoothly. In Chen Yu's command center, it was even a constant 26 degrees Celsius. Just as they passed the depth of 1,000 kilometers, the AI projected a view of a certain area ahead onto the holographic screen. Captain, there's something wrong there, look. Chen Yu and his wives all looked over at once. They saw that in a certain area ahead, there were actually city-like buildings. What are those things? Captain, according to the ray scans, the technology of those buildings is on a different level than the black monsters in the upper space. The building materials here are high-dimensional molecular composites. Let's go, approach those buildings, and we'll go in and explore. This is a civilization from tens or even hundreds of billions of years ago, who knows, it might be the first batch, or even the first, civilization to reach such a high level since the birth of the universe. The AI, just like Chen Yu, felt curious about this kind of inconceivable civilization. Chapter 305. The Millennium Falcon slowly flew towards the well-preserved architectural complex. As they approached, Chen Yu was even more surprised. These buildings were far more advanced than those of the black giants on the upper level. Intelligence, launch isotope detection robots and take samples for age detection. Okay, Captain, isotope detection robots have been successfully launched and are approaching the buildings. The Millennium Falcon hovered above these buildings. The houses here looked like white, square mecha, with patterns on the outside. Captain, the isotope robot has successfully taken samples and is analyzing the age. Analyzing, analysis successful. Chen Yu was also very eager to know how old these buildings were. Captain, according to isotope detection, the building materials on the surface of these buildings are approximately 12 billion years old. Is this really possible? What was the universe like at that time? Or, the universe was not born 14 billion years ago at all. What secrets are hidden in this? Intelligence, using your level 7 civilization's scientific knowledge, help me assess why you think this civilization was born. Captain, our level 7 civilization's technology library also lacks relevant knowledge about civilizations from 12 billion years ago. This should be the oldest technological civilization we have discovered. Moreover, the appearance of these buildings can survive for 12 billion years under such extreme temperatures, which is simply subverting conventional scientific understanding. Our level 7 civilization has a law of annihilation, equivalent to your Earth's law of entropy increase. To exist for over 12 billion years under these high temperature, extreme conditions, the molecular force between these building materials must be strong enough, otherwise, they will gradually disintegrate over the long years and become individual atoms, annihilated in space. This was also what Chen Yu was puzzled about. They were currently thousands of kilometers underground, with strong pressure, high temperatures, and high pressure. Materials that could last for tens of billions of years were treasures in themselves. Intelligence, can you analyze what level the civilization that could create this building material is? Based on my deduction, they are at least at the late stage of a level 6 civilization. Our level 7 civilization can easily create this kind of building material, but if this civilization could create it 12 billion years ago, what kind of godlike existence would their descendants be now? Intelligence, do you think it is possible that those level 8, 9, and 10 god-level civilizations are pioneer civilizations that developed rapidly at the beginning of this ancient universe? Then, as the river of time in the universe flows, the planets that gave birth to these civilizations are no longer suitable for them to live on, so they go to other planets. In this way, they continue from generation to generation, finally breaking through the bottleneck, breaking the barrier of the peak of level 7 civilization, and entering the extraordinary god-level civilization. Captain, you are right, that's what I guessed too, because god-level civilizations do need a long time to develop. My home planet has developed to the peak of level 7 civilization for nearly 2 billion years. Chen Yu was shocked. This was the first time the intelligence had revealed the development time of its home planet. 2 billion years ago, there were only some of the simplest life forms on Earth, such as blue-green algae and bacteria. And it takes 2 billion years to develop to the peak of level 7 civilization. Chen Yu thought that now, with his help, Earth is basically a level 4 civilization planet. If it weren't for standing on the shoulders of giants, it would probably take hundreds of years for Earth, with its previous 0.68 level civilization, to develop to a level 1 civilization. Earth's resources are not infinite. If it develops normally, the Earth's environment may not be able to support human reproduction before it reaches a level 2 civilization. Wasn't the solar crisis that happened 30 years ago like this? Without universal technology and the help of the intelligence, the Earthlings would have probably gone extinct. It is conceivable how many difficulties a civilization needs to go through to develop to a high level. Now Chen Yu finally understands why there are no planets within a radius of 40 million light years. Intelligence, do you think there is a possibility? Captain, you said, I also have a guess, see if it is the same as yours. Chapter 306. Chen Yu arrived at the virtual platform in the middle of the command room. With a wave of his hand, holographic light curtains lit up around him, enveloping his entire body. Chen Yu manipulated the controls, placing a scaled-down version of the starfield into the holographic screen. Chen Yu began to explain. The reason why this starfield has no other planets, and even very little dust, is, in my opinion, because of this ancient civilization, a civilization from billions of years ago. As I said just now, AI, your civilization has taken 2 billion years to develop to this point. In these 2 billion years, your planet must have experienced environmental changes, which would be accompanied by interstellar migration, right? Yes, Captain. We have experienced 6 interstellar migrations. Currently, my home planet is the longest inhabited planet of our level 7 civilization humanoid race, lasting for 800 million years. That is because, 800 million years ago, we reached level 6 civilization and were able to directly modify the environment of a planet, even influencing the star we orbit. After that, we no longer needed interstellar migration. The necessary energy and materials can be brought from other planets. Right, then are there planets around your home planet that have also been completely exploited? Captain, you are truly a genius, thinking almost exactly like me. Based on my speculation, this civilization is definitely beyond the peak of level 7 civilization. This place is the remnants of a city they left behind after exhausting the material of planets within 40 million light years around it. That's right, Captain, I think so too. I think they had already exhausted their resources at level 6 peak civilization and must have discovered a planet more suitable for them to live on, so they abandoned this place. But, Captain, even as a level 7 peak civilization, we have not consumed the energy of planets within a radius of 40 million light-years, a diameter of 80 million light-years. There are still many inexplicable aspects here. That is also the answer I want to explore. It seems that we can only send our exploration robots into these city ruins to see if we can find any answers. Okay, Captain, 300 exploration robots have been dispatched. We just need to quietly wait for the answers. At this moment, hundreds of kilometers above the giant pit, in the city area of those black behemoths, countless spaceships are firing at the stone walls below. Their idea is to block the hollow, exhaust those outsiders to death, and then reopen the pit. After all, they still need the radiation emitted from inside the pit to survive. Captain, all real-time images transmitted back by the probe robots are on the holographic screen. Chen Yu and his 4 wives were staring at the 300 screens displaying images. Currently, Chen Yu and his wives are at least at the late stage of interstellar stage 2, with Chen Yu and Solala directly at interstellar stage 4 life forms. The degree of brain domain development is no longer that of ordinary people. Simultaneously observing the contents of 300 screens is not a problem at all. Chen Yu was staring at the 300 screens, and he could spot any abnormalities in any of them. Of course, the AI was also scanning these screens simultaneously. Only Xiaojiazi was staring blankly at these screens. Her personality was inherently quirky. And she also has the lowest life form level and insufficient brain domain development. Suddenly, Chen Yu and the AI's voices sounded at the same time. AI. Something's happening. Captain. Something's happening. Chapter 307. Chen Yu and the AI's voices sounded simultaneously, clearly indicating that both had noticed the anomaly in the 300 images. AI, did you also detect the anomaly? Yes, I am now enlarging the anomalous image. It appeared to be the interior of a massive structure, where rows of human-like warriors stood neatly aligned. No, not human warriors, but human-like mechs with carbon-based humanoid physiques. Because, according to the scans, these mechs were all empty inside. These mechs had a silver sheen, and each mech warrior held a weapon resembling a laser gun. If Chen Yu and the AI had seen these mechs on another civilization's planet, they wouldn't have been surprised. But this was an ancient planet from 12 billion years ago, which shocked both Chen Yu and the AI. How could there be human-like mechs here? Could there have been a cosmic human race 12 billion years ago? Captain, this is indeed beyond my comprehension. Although our level 7 civilization doesn't know when the cosmic human race originated, based on our level 7 civilization's explorations in the starfield, the earliest cosmic human race only appeared about 3 billion years ago. But here, it's 4 times earlier, which completely subverts my understanding. Chen Yu frowned as he looked at these humanoid mechs. Transmit the data of these mechs. Understood, Captain. These mechs are generally between 2.5 and 3 meters tall, with internal space just enough to accommodate a cosmic human-like being of about 2 meters. So, their size is similar to our human race. Could this be the ancestor of all cosmic human races? Captain, that's possible. Even if it's not, then where did they come from? Or rather, are they a branch of the cosmic human race's ancestors? AI, your level 7 civilization probably isn't in the same universe as our Earth, which means that the cosmic human race doesn't just exist in one universe, but in all universes. How did our ancestors spread the cosmic human race to every corner of the universe? Our ancestors must have been a god-level civilization. Captain, you're right. Without wormholes, only a god-level civilization could traverse between 2 universes. Alright, have the exploration robots bring all those mechs back for research. Don't we have over 1,000 Mesolacians on our ship? Find some tall ones and try equipping them with these mechs. Understood, Captain. Some exploration robots began transporting the mechs, while others continued exploring the buildings. Subsequently, the exploration robots also discovered buildings resembling living quarters and business districts within these structures. Unsurprisingly, they were all technologically advanced. This made Chen Yu and the AI deeply admire the advanced technology from 12 billion years ago. If they had continued to develop until now, what would they be like? It was simply unimaginable. The AI wanted the exploration robots to find the civilization's intelligent control computer to see if they could decipher some of the civilization's secrets. However, the intelligent systems with intelligent storage had been severely damaged internally. The time was simply too long, and no data had been preserved. Only the mechs and buildings made of special materials were still preserved. Captain, All the mechs have been transported back inside the Millennium Falcon. Our robots have conducted extensive searches inside, but there's nothing useful left. After a long time, the materials responsible for storing information have formed a paste under the law of increasing entropy. Alright, I understand. It seems that this is just a ruin abandoned by those ancient human races when they left, and it has no research value anymore. Captain, shall we release the gravity bombs now? Chapter 308. Chen Yu frowned, pondering. This ancient human civilization site from 12 billion years ago, would it be too much of a waste to just blow it up like this? It's like discovering an even older dynasty on Earth, 10,000 years before the Xia dynasty, the earliest known dynasty. It has immense value for historical research, but Chen Yu thought about it, and figured he probably wouldn't come to this god-forsaken place again in the future. Besides, those black behemoths were extremely annoying, and this place was just an abandoned ruin of those ancient humans anyway, so it didn't matter whether it was preserved or not. AI, release the gravity bomb. We've done the research and exploration we needed to do here, and we've reached our own conclusions. It doesn't matter whether it exists or not anymore. Okay, Captain. I will release the gravity bomb now. After we leave this planet, we will detonate it. This planet will undergo a chain reaction and gradually be compressed into a dense celestial body the size of a basketball, with a certain probability of forming a small black hole. Alright. Let's leave now. Roger, Captain. A black gravity bomb slowly floated out from under the Millennium Falcon and landed directly on the ground in this space. The Millennium Falcon then began to turn around and rush upwards. After ascending several hundred kilometers, the pit was completely blocked. AI, fire the Death Annihilation Ray and make those obstructing boulders disappear. Okay, Captain, activating low-power Death Annihilation Ray, activating kinetic energy attack shield. To deal with these black boulders, although hard, the Death Annihilation Ray didn't need to be at maximum power to easily disintegrate them. In addition, the kinetic energy shield could effectively isolate attacks from various kinetic energy weapons, and also withstand the impact of these gravels. The Millennium Falcon rushed upwards with sparks and lightning, almost at its normal flight speed. Soon it reached 200 or 300 kilometers above the surface, which was the habitat of those black behemoths. The creatures' spaceships were still attacking the stone wall, burying the pit. But the Millennium Falcon directly rushed out from the bottom, smashing those ugly black spaceships into scraps. Chen Yu shook his head as he watched the black spaceships attacking his Millennium Falcon. You all go to hell, and become cosmic dust along with this planet. The Millennium Falcon didn't linger and flew straight towards the top of the pit. In just a moment, it rushed out of the pit. Witnessing the destruction of this planet from here was the safest and best viewing position. AI, I haven't seen the destruction of a planet before. What kind of changes will we see on this planet after the gravity bomb explodes and a chain reaction forms inside? Captain, I can only tell you that you will see a shocking scene. Chen Yu's eyes lit up. He was already imagining the destruction of this planet in his mind, wondering if it would be like the science fiction movies on Earth. How exciting! AI, immediately detonate the internal gravity bomb and record the entire scene. Okay, Captain, gravity bomb detonation countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Chapter 309. Chen Yu stood in front of the transparent glass of the Millennium Falcon's command center, his 4 wives standing beside him. My darlings, in a moment, you will witness the destruction of a planet. Let us witness it together. Captain, the gravity bomb has been detonated, and a chain reaction is forming. Chen Yu stared intently at the planet, which was surrounded by darkness. In space, it appeared pitch black, but fortunately, the intelligent system in the command center's glass processed the image using other rays. Therefore, Chen Yu and his wives could see a faintly glowing planet with their naked eyes. Ayu, why isn't there any reaction? Will this planet explode? Suro asked. I don't think this planet should explode. The gravity bomb we released detonated internally, creating a chain reaction and causing a local surge in gravity, which should rapidly gather surrounding matter. It should collapse inward. Suro nodded her small head, leaned on Chen Yu's shoulder, feeling both anticipation and a little nervousness. Suddenly, the planet changed. Look! There's light! Solara exclaimed. Sure enough, Chen Yu saw changes occurring on the planet. Huge beams of light shot out from some of the ground fissures, and then cracks stretching tens of thousands of kilometers formed on the planet's surface. These cracks glowed below, as if something was burning inside. Intelligent system, why is this happening? Captain, the internal core region is now rapidly contracting, causing the planet's mantle to disintegrate. Geological friction has caused local explosions, which is what you are seeing as light. Subsequently, more and more cracks appeared on the huge planet, densely packed. They quickly covered the entire planet, like a shattered egg. Suddenly, a strong flash appeared, and various substances around the area where the gravity bomb was released contracted inward. This directly formed a whirlwind of matter and dust after fragmentation. The scene was simply terrifying. The diameter of the matter and dust hurricane was at least twice the diameter of Earth. Inside, intense lightning could be seen, and the energy released by each lightning bolt was probably the sum of all lightning energy produced on Earth in a year. Look! The planet is starting to shrink. Solara exclaimed. The entire planet was indeed like there was a strong gravitational source inside it. With sparks and lightning, it gradually became smaller. If there were living beings on the surface of this planet, it would be a cataclysmic disaster. Now, getting close to this planet is a dead end. The gravitational chain reaction continued. The planet's matter was torn apart and then fell into the endless abyss. Chen Yu looked at the center of the dust hurricane, which was like a gaping maw, devouring everything that approached it. Too terrifying. Chen Yu murmured unconsciously. Time passed second by second. So silently, an entire planet was disintegrated and quickly shrunk into the center of the dust hurricane. Chen Yu seemed to hear the wails of those black behemoths. In less than a minute, the entire planet had quietly disappeared. After the last burst of light, everything returned to calm. Captain, the chain reaction is over. This planet has been compressed into a dense celestial body less than 30 centimeters in diameter, about the size of a basketball. The properties of the matter on this planet had changed. During the compression process, it had probably formed a new dense substance. All the atomic nuclei were tightly packed together, and scientists on Earth would not be able to study such a celestial body at all. Even a needlepoint of this substance could suck away a city, causing tidal changes on Earth and causing destruction. Intelligent system, have you studied this compressed dense celestial body? Captain, the volume and mass of this planet have now reached the level of a dense neutron star. Even with the technology of our level 7 civilization, there is no equipment that can land on a celestial body of this level, but we have weapons to destroy them. Ah, what is it? It is a dimensionality reduction weapon of level 7 civilization, which can form a different space and physically erase such celestial bodies. However, with your current level of brain domain development, you wouldn't understand even if I told you. Okay, explain it to me after my brain domain is improved. Suddenly, Chen Yu thought of a science fiction novel on Earth that won the Galaxy Award, in which the protagonist stored his consciousness in a spaceship. Then he drifted in the universe and fought against various alien races. In that novel, there was a wide range of ideas, including a kind of interstellar alien beast. It could actually live on a neutron star with supergravity. Even with Chen Yu's current level of brain domain development, he couldn't imagine what kind of creature could live on a neutron star. One step further, wouldn't it be able to live on the surface of a black hole? But nothing is absolute. Chen Yu's understanding of the universe is still very limited. Intelligent system, check how close we can get to this neutron star before we are severely affected by the interference of relativity. Chapter 310. Captain, the total mass of this planet hasn't changed, but because it's been compressed to a relative limit, within 5,000 kilometers of it, the time distortion effect will be comparable to the edge of a small black hole. Chen Yu knew that the greater the mass of an object, the stronger its ability to distort space-time. Now, this small neutron star already possesses some of the physical characteristics of a black hole. Alright, our mission is complete, and we've taken our revenge. It's time to leave this place and embark on our journey to find a wormhole again. Yes, Captain. Currently, we only have two ways to return to the wormhole. First, search in the nearby starfield, but we don't have the technology or any clues. Second, return to the Milky Way and re-enter from the wormhole coordinates at the edge of the solar system, and then no longer fall out of wormhole space midway. Chen Yu frowned. The first method was good, but they simply didn't know where the wormhole was. It was like searching for a needle in a haystack, mainly because they didn't have the technology to detect wormholes. If they chose the second method, they would have to return to the Milky Way, but Chen Yu and the AI didn't know where they were now. This starfield wasn't in the Milky Way Interstellar Federation, the Virgo Interstellar Federation, or even in the broader Laniakea Supercluster Federation starfield map. This indicated that it was quite far from Earth's local group. Perhaps even tens of billions of light-years away, or even further. Earth scientists estimate the diameter of the observable universe to be about 93 billion light-years. This was simply an unimaginable superspace. If a beam of light were to travel from one end of the observable universe to the other, even without considering light attenuation, it would take 93 billion years to travel. That was terrifying. AI, do you have any suggestions? Actually, Chen Yu now wanted to enter the wormhole and go to the AI's universe. Mainly, he wanted to visit the AI's home, that level 7 civilization planet, to see how advanced it was. And return the only well-preserved level 7 humanoid corpse on this ship to its home planet. He also wanted to explore the secrets of the wormhole connecting the two universes. Chen Yu then thought of Mr. Trump, who had entered the wormhole 20 years ago. What had he encountered after he left? Was he still alive? Captain, we're not in a hurry now. Since we don't know where we are in this universe, let's leave this dead zone and ask in places with other life-bearing planets. They'll definitely have the clues we need. Okay, let's do that then. Captain, in what direction should we proceed? Chen Yu stood in the command room, looking out through the special glass. It was a dark and silent expanse, with only a few scattered stars. Those were the faint lights produced by galaxies 80 million light-years away. I don't know either. Let's go with my lucky direction, downwards. Chen Yu pointed downwards. On Earth, he had obtained the level 7 civilization ship by jumping off a cliff. So this time, let's fly downwards at full speed. Okay, Captain, adjusting course, direction confirmed. The Millennium Falcon is entering warp space, entering. Current speed, 100 times the speed of light, 500 times the speed of light, 3000 times the speed of light, 100,000 times the speed of light. 50 million times the speed of light. In the middle of the ripple, there seemed to be a faint light flickering, and then a spherical object slowly floated out from it, its surface grey. The object seemed to be examining the changes here. Suddenly, the spherical object used itself as the center. An invisible wave spread outward at the speed of light. Then, a miraculous thing happened. Stars shifted, time reversed, and the planet that had been compressed into a small neutron star was visibly reversing in time, gradually returning from a neutron star to the black god star it had been before. If Chen Yu were still here and saw all this, who knows what his expression would be. In just under a minute, the massive black god star had returned to its original state in the darkness. Subsequently, the spatial fluctuation formed again, and the spherical object slowly floated into it, and then the spatial ripples disappeared. This place returned to a state of silence again, as if Chen Yu and his Millennium Falcon, as well as that spherical object, had never been here. As for what that sphere actually was, and whether Chen Yu would meet it in the future, it was unknown. 1 month later, the Millennium Falcon exited warp space again. AI, immediately scan for electromagnetic wave signals in the nearby starfield. We've left the previous area by nearly 1 billion light-years. We've exited warp space and stopped to scan more than 100 times, but we haven't captured a single radio signal from a technological planet. Are life-bearing planets so rare in the universe? Captain, life-bearing planets are indeed not many, but there are definitely quite a few in a universe. We might just be a bit unlucky. Are you saying that the direction I chose is not good? Captain, it's not that bad. Alas, no wonder. Before I gave them the technology, Earth scientists hadn't discovered a single life-bearing planet. Suddenly, the AI seemed to have detected something. Captain, there's a situation. I've detected radio signals from 10 million light-years away. Analyzing the other party's technological civilization level. Chen Yu's face lit up with joy. He had finally found one. Chapter 311. Now that Chen Yu had discovered a life-bearing planet in a nearby star system, he instructed the AI to head towards the source of the radio signals. 10 million light-years might have seemed like an incredibly vast distance when Chen Yu first acquired the Millennium Falcon. But now, for Chen Yu's Millennium Falcon, it was a very short distance. The Millennium Falcon entered warp space, without even using its maximum warp speed. In less than a day, it arrived at the star system containing the civilized planet. Captain, the Millennium Falcon has exited warp space and arrived in the star system of this civilized planet. Alright, approach the planet, identify its civilization level, release the universal language translation codes, and send a request to land on the planet's surface. Captain, there's a situation. What is it? This planet is currently not emitting any electromagnetic waves or other radiation. I cannot detect any signals such as the internet. What's going on? Captain, the civilization on this planet has perished. The intelligent life has gone extinct. Chen Yu's eyes widened. Suddenly, he seemed to realize something. Damn! How could I forget that? We detected the electromagnetic wave information from this planet from 10 million light-years away. Now we've traveled here at faster than light speed, which means the electromagnetic waves we detected were emitted from here 10 million years ago. After 10 million years, the civilization on this planet would have long been extinct. That's correct, Captain. Chen Yu spat. It's like how the Earth started creating radio-electromagnetic waves in 1888 AD. That's only a little over 100 years ago, which means that the electromagnetic waves created by human technological civilization have only traveled a little over 100 light-years into the universe. If humanity goes extinct in 1000 years, then those electromagnetic waves will be detected by a technological civilization 1000 years later. They come to Earth based on the electromagnetic waves, but by then, Earth's civilization has already perished. It's the same situation as now. Well, I guess the civilization level of this planet wasn't very high. If it were an advanced civilization, they would definitely have the ability to modify the planet's environment, and they wouldn't have gone extinct. Captain, we should still go to the planet's surface to take a look and explore the relics left by this civilization. It might have a positive impact on our understanding of this star system. Alright, and also check the stability of this star system and see how this civilization went extinct. Understood, Captain. Oh, this planet looks pretty big, and it has an atmosphere, blue oceans, and green vegetation. It's clearly a life-bearing planet. Captain, I have already detected the data for this planet. The planet's diameter is over 43,000 kilometers, more than 3 times the size of Earth. The gravity is 12 times that of Earth. There is liquid water on the planet, and atmospheric content can be detected after landing. The star system this planet is in is very stable. The sun this planet orbits is an aging star. Although the sunlight radiation is not as strong as Earth's sun, this planet is close enough to the star that it receives more radiation than Earth. The star can continue to burn for at least billions of years. Chen Yu frowned upon hearing the AI's introduction of the data. Since this star system is stable and the planet's environment looks good, why couldn't those technologically advanced beings survive even the last 10 million years? Captain, that is indeed very strange. Forget it, land directly on the planet's surface. All the answers are up there. Understood, Captain. Chapter 312. The Millennium Falcon directly approached the planet, creating friction with the dense atmosphere. After passing through a hazy area, it finally entered the inner atmosphere of the planet. Chen Yu could see more details of the planet's surface. Large expanses of forests, green in color, and vast oceans. It looked like a super Earth. Captain, the atmospheric content of the planet has been detected. Chen Yu looked at the holographic screen, which displayed the atmospheric content data of the planet. Chen Yu immediately noticed the oxygen content, around 30%, a few percentage points richer than Earth's. The content of other gases was almost the same as Earth's. There were some differences in the content of rare gases compared to Earth. Overall, this planet was very suitable for carbon-based life to inhabit. Ordinary Earthlings, after undergoing simple genetic modification, could resist the discomfort caused by trace amounts of rare gases in the atmosphere. Intelligent brain, release probe aircraft to search for the remains of former cities on this planet, perhaps we can find the answers we seek there. Okay. Immediately, dense swarms of aircraft shot out from the Millennium Falcon, flying in all directions. Let's find a flat place to land and take a look at the surface. Okay, Captain, I have already found a location suitable for the Millennium Falcon to land. Subsequently, the Millennium Falcon slowly approached a coastline with a huge sandy beach. Sizzle sizzle sizzle. The Millennium Falcon landed on the beach, kicking up a cloud of sand. After things calmed down, the hatch slowly opened. Chen Yu was the first to step out of the ship. He felt the pressure here, which was several times greater than Earth's, but less than the Black God star. The gravity was also greater, about 12 times that of Earth. But with Chen Yu's powerful physique as an interstellar rank 4 late-stage life form, he hardly felt anything. Only little Clip, whose life form level was the lowest, felt some heaviness in her body, but it was nothing major. A total of 5 people walked down the hatch steps and onto the clean beach. In the sky, a sun that looked several times larger than Earth's sun hung high in the starry sky. Although it looked large, the temperature here was about the same as the Earth's tropics. Chen Yu scooped up a handful of sand from the ground and carefully examined it. It was almost the same as Earth's. If it weren't for the different types of plants deeper in the beach, Chen Yu would have almost believed this was Earth. And those plants deeper in the beach were very different from those on Earth. Even from a distance, Chen Yu could sense their enormity. They didn't seem like trees from Earth. Instead, they were giant grasses, with each leaf being dozens of square meters. Compared to these giant grasses, Earth's towering trees were as thin as chives. Suro stepped forward, somewhat surprised, and said, "Ayu, these plants are simply too big compared to Earth. This planet is several times larger than Earth, and the gravity is more than 10 times greater. Logically, the plants on the planet should try to grow shorter and sturdier to resist such strong gravity." Chen Yu also had this doubt, but the universe is so vast and full of wonders. Perhaps there are just such abnormal planets. We'll know after we explore it later. There are so many cosmic life planets, there must be amazing phenomena we haven't seen. Chen Yu had the Millennium Falcon fly into the sky, staying alert at all times. He personally led his wives towards the dense forest deeper in the beach. Calling it a dense forest meant being under the giant, skyscraper-like, large grass-like plants. Now, the lowest life form level of his wives was Little Clip's interstellar rank 2 late stage. Even if there were any monsters, there were also Chen Yu himself and Solala, 2 interstellar rank 4 life forms. The group was basically walking war attack ships, not worried about encountering any monsters at all. If they came, they would just kill them and roast the meat. Chen Yu carried Little Clip, as she was the only one who hadn't broken through interstellar rank 3 and couldn't fly yet. His other 3 wives were all above rank 3 and could already fly. The 5 people slowly flew towards the dense forest. When they arrived at the base of those giant, towering grasses, Chen Yu couldn't help but marvel at the scene before him. Chapter 313. Deep on the land beyond the beach, towering trees, no, Mom, towering grasses. These plants are really just like the grass on Earth. But each individual is like a skyscraper, and Chen Yu really wants to know. In this place where gravity is more than 10 times that of Earth, how can these plants grow so tall? This does not conform to Chen Yu's researched field of cosmic biology. But after seeing the bottom of these giant grass-like plants, Chen Yu seemed to understand. The roots and stems at the bottom of these grasses are extremely thick, and Chen Yu reached out and touched them. They are as hard as steel, no wonder they can support such a tall body. At the bottom, there are not only these rock-solid roots and stems, but also some small plants, layer upon layer, forming an extremely complex ecosystem. And those small plants are obviously much more fragile. These dense forests are basically occupied by layers of plants, and Chen Yu and his wives can only fly into the sky, because no one can stand underneath. With so many plants here, there should be animals, right? Chen Yu flew around a piece of land with his wives, and the group landed directly on a giant leaf at the top of a giant grass plant. This single leaf is several tens of square meters, and when the group stands on it, the leaf does not move at all. Chen Yu stomped on the surface of the leaf with his foot, and it felt almost like a steel plate. Ayu, this kind of plant is really strange. When we stand on it, it's like standing on a cement floor. Suro said curiously. Chen Yu nodded. That's right. It seems that the reason why the plants here can grow so big is obviously because they have strong roots and stems and leaves that are like steel plates. But, we just flew around, why didn't we encounter a single animal? Logically speaking, where there are plants, there must be animals. Chen Yu couldn't figure it out either. So he asked the intelligent brain in his mind. Intelligent brain, have the exploration ships that were sent out discovered anything, especially animals? Captain, the exploration ship has not found any signs of animals for the time being, but one of our ships has discovered traces of a civilization on this planet, possibly a former city. Ah, where is it? Let's go over there now. Okay, Captain, I will teleport you back to the Millennium Falcon. Afterwards, a beam of light shot out from the bottom of the Millennium Falcon in the sky, enveloping Chen Yu and his 4 wives. The transport beam was activated instantly, and the group returned to the Millennium Falcon. Chen Yu arrived at the command room of the Millennium Falcon and ordered to go directly to the location where the ruins of the planet's civilization were discovered. The spaceship disappeared from the spot with a whoosh. Even though this planet is several times larger than Earth, the Millennium Falcon arrived in a matter of minutes with its speed. At this moment, an exploration ship is hovering over a certain location. The intelligent brain retracted the ship into the cabin. Chen Yu prepared to go out of the cabin himself to take a look. And Solara, as the wife with the strongest combat power, asked to go with him. Chen Yu did not refuse. The two flew out of the loading bay and went straight to the ruins area. Arriving on the ground, it was a scene of deathly silence. But you can see some things that are obviously man-made buildings. However, they have been eroded beyond recognition. These buildings are like square boxes, covered with dense vines. Everything reveals an ancient aura. Indeed, it is not known which period of the last 10 million years this civilization died out. Chen Yu came to a broken wall and reached out to touch the surface of these buildings. To Chen Yu's surprise, the surface felt cold to the touch, and it should be made of metal. Intelligent brain, send out a team of exploration robots to collect the age of these things. Okay, Captain. Chen Yu was also very puzzled. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. There must be something wrong with this planet. Chapter 314. Soon, the exploration robots extracted material from the metal walls and analyzed it on site. Captain, the age of these building materials has been determined. They are approximately 5 million years old. Which means the intelligent civilization on this planet went extinct 5 million years ago, right? Roughly around that time. It seems we're too late. They've been extinct for 5 million years. But to maintain such well-preserved ruins, aside from the planet's stable geological features preventing these remains from being buried, the building materials must be extraordinary. Have you determined their civilization level before extinction? Captain, based on my calculations, this civilization was approximately at a late stage 3 level. Late stage 3, theoretically not too backward. Modifying the planet's environment should be entirely possible. So how did they go extinct? And why can't we see any animals? Chen Yu held Solala's hand, not wanting to stay on the planet's surface any longer. Let's go back. I have a feeling that this place is very strange. Solala, also feeling nervous, nodded repeatedly. After the two returned to the spaceship, they directly entered the decontamination chamber for a full-body disinfection. Then, Chen Yu went to the Millennium Falcon's medical experiment bay. The AI had already collected surface samples from the planet and dispatched a ship to extract seawater samples from a nearby coast. Inside the glass isolation chamber, the AI controlled robotic arms, performing microscopic analysis on the samples. Although Chen Yu felt that he was already an intermediate interstellar life form and should be immune to many viruses from space planets, this planet was too strange, to the point that no animals had evolved for tens of millions of years. If there was a virus, it must be extremely powerful. Chen Yu stared intently at the robotic arm's operations behind the glass. Suddenly, the robotic arm stopped. The AI's voice echoed in the chamber. Captain, I have completed a detailed analysis of these samples. Any discoveries? Yes, a bad one. Chen Yu's heart skipped a beat. Could he really have guessed correctly? Tell me, is it what I think it is? Captain, it's too early to say, but I have detected unusual microscopic organisms. However, I need confirmation from your bodies. What do you mean? I just used human serum to conduct a fusion experiment with these microscopic organisms, and I discovered an extraordinary phenomenon. What phenomenon? What confirmation do you need from us? Could it be that we have that thing in our bodies too? Chen Yu's words made his wives tremble behind him. The Earth's virus crisis had only passed a few decades ago, and now there was something even more sinister? String. Chapter 315. The atmosphere in the medical experimental bay of the Millennium Falcon spaceship was eerily quiet. Clearly, the AI had discovered some terrifying microscopic organisms in these planetary extracts. It might be a supervirus, or perhaps microscopic organisms capable of harming intermediate to advanced life forms. AI, tell me how you want to confirm this on us. I'll do whatever you say. Captain, I need blood samples from you and your wives. You all left the ship together and came into contact with the planet's air and surface. I need to confirm whether the microscopic organisms extracted from the samples have parasitized your bodies. Hearing the word parasite, Chen Yu's heart suddenly trembled. Only little Jiazi was carefree and careless, her mind occasionally still lingered in her days as a robot. She didn't yet realize she was a woman of flesh and blood. Chen Yu frowned and, without hesitation, picked up the blood extractor on the medical platform and pricked his finger. Soon, a small tube of blood was drawn, and the mechanical arm quickly took the test tube from Chen Yu's hand. His wives also didn't hesitate, all using the blood extractor to prick their fingers. The AI controlled the mechanical arm, placing the 4 tubes of blood into the analysis instrument. Chen Yu solemnly watched the analyzer, his 4 wives clinging tightly to his side. "Captain, the analysis instrument is analyzing with all its might. Do you think we'll be infected with that microscopic organism virus?" Solara asked. Chen Yu closed his eyes, circulated the cosmic dark energy around his body, and frowned, saying, "I don't feel anything unusual. If there were a virus in my body, with my mastery of dark energy, I should be able to sense the changes in the cells, but I don't. Besides, what kind of microbial virus would be so powerful as to survive in cells filled with cosmic dark energy?" Solara also nodded. "Indeed, I can't feel any changes in my body." Just then, a hint of worry seemed to appear on the delicate faces of Suro and Xiaoyueshu. Chen Yu noticed that Suro and Xiaoyueshu didn't look good, so he asked. "Xiao Yueshu, are you hiding something from me?" Suro and Xiaoyueshu exchanged a glance and said. I feel like there's a creature invading every cell in my body." "Me too. I used cosmic bright energy to travel through my body and discovered that my cells are being attacked by an unknown creature." Xiaoyueshu also said. Chen Yu then looked at little Jiazi, whose life form level was only interstellar stage 2, lower than Suro and Xiaoyueshu's interstellar stage 3. She should also have been attacked by that microscopic virus. Facing Chen Yu's gaze, little Jiazi quickly waved her hand. "I feel perfectly fine. Every cell is very healthy." Chen Yu narrowed his eyes. "Could it be that you really haven't been infected?" "That's right. I feel very healthy, every cell is full of vitality." Chen Yu frowned. "AI, are the results out yet?" "Captain, the results will be out in the last 10 seconds. Chen Yu and his 4 wives all stared nervously at the testing instrument. When the numbers on the instrument jumped to 0, the test results came out. "Captain, the test results are out, and they really are exactly the same as your own feelings." Everyone looked at the holographic image on the side. Chen Yu, uninfected. Solara, uninfected. Suro, infected. Xiaoyueshu, infected. Little Jiazi, uninfected. When this conclusion appeared, Chen Yu and his 4 wives were all stunned. Why were only Xiaoro and Yueshu infected? Also, if the infection status was determined by life form level, then little Jiazi's life form level was currently the lowest, but why wasn't she infected? "AI, can you explain why such an infection result occurred, and what exactly is that microscopic organism?" "Captain, while simultaneously testing your blood samples, I was also constantly analyzing the characteristics of this microscopic organism. Based on my erosion experiments using ordinary Earth human serum, Messrs star human serum, as well as serum from insect people, giant bird star people, krill star people, and other carbon-based life forms that were previously sampled. These extremely tiny microscopic organisms can all infect these serums, and after they infect and multiply to a certain extent, these microscopic organisms will gather together to form a larger tissue cell. Is it really a face hugger? These microscopic organisms gather together and then grow into some ghostly thing again. Captain, it cannot be ruled out." Upon hearing this, especially Suro and Xiaoyueshu, their delicate little faces turned pale. Chen Yu hugged them both, one on each side, comforting them. "It's okay, I won't allow anything to happen to you. I will definitely find a way to save you. By the way, AI, why were only Xiaoro and Yueshu infected among the 5 of us? And why weren't I, Lala, and little Jiazi infected?" Chapter 316. "Captain, this might be related to your life form level." "Are you kidding me? Little Clip is only interstellar stage 2, how come she isn't infected?" "Captain, have you forgotten? Whose genes were used for Little Clip's encoding? Little Clip, wasn't she created using Lala's genes?" "What, is there something special about that?" "That's right, Little Clip was created using a gene sample extracted from Miss Lala after she broke through to interstellar stage 4. Therefore, her defense level against these microorganisms should be calculated as interstellar stage 4. Moreover, reaching interstellar stage 4 means one has already become an intermediate life form in the universe, completely different from the initial stage. The life level has already achieved a leap. On some genetic levels, it far surpasses initial life forms. This is a high-dimensional advantage, which is why Little Clip wasn't infected. Those microorganisms entered her body but couldn't replicate, couldn't find loopholes in her genes, so they could only die. Chen Yu nodded, finally understanding. But the current crisis hasn't disappeared. Suro and Yushu are still infected. He had to find a way to treat them. AI, is there any way to eliminate the microorganisms in Suro and Yushu's bodies? Captain, according to my experiments, this virus, within Miss Suro and Miss Yushu's bodies, will reach a critical point in the number of viruses within 3 days under normal circumstances. They will gather to form a new life. By then, things will be difficult to predict. But I have a method of cryogenic hibernation that can extend the time we have to find a solution. Okay, let's use that method, and then we'll work together. We must save them. Miss Suro, Miss Yushu, please lie down in the medical pods. I will use a special low freezing point mucus to cover your entire bodies. This mucus contains enough cosmic bright energy for your skin to absorb. I will freeze you to limit the virus's reproduction speed and buy time to find a way to deal with this microorganism before you are completely eroded by the virus. The two women were somewhat reluctant, giving Chen Yu a deep, loving look. Chen Yu embraced Suro and Solara. He kissed them both on the lips. This liquid had a freezing point of around 50 degrees Celsius, capable of completely freezing Suro and Xia Yushu's bodies. However, it still wouldn't completely stop the proliferation of those microorganisms. It would only slow down the virus's reproduction at this temperature. Buying time for Chen Yu and the AI to research a way to deal with this microorganism. The liquid had completely submerged Suro and Xia Yushu. The temperature was gradually decreasing, and the two women's consciousness would slowly cease. Chen Yu felt inexplicably nervous. AI, your method, there won't be any mistakes, right? Captain, rest assured, Miss Suro and Miss Yushu have already reached interstellar stage 3. They are no longer ordinary people. Moreover, this transparent mucus will enter from the surface of their bodies, replacing the water in them. Furthermore, this mucus can function like water molecules in their bodies, so their cells won't be damaged at the low temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. Also, they are already interstellar stage 3 life forms with strong self-recovery abilities. Even if some cells are damaged, there won't be any life-threatening danger. Chen Yu finally breathed a sigh of relief. AI, magnify those microorganisms for me, or, as they're called on Earth, viruses. Show me their structure. Okay, Captain. Soon after, a screen appeared with a magnified picture, 30 million times larger. Inside were densely packed, wriggling small creatures. Generally, Earth viruses, magnified 10,000 times, or special viruses magnified 100,000 times, is the limit. But these microorganisms needed to be magnified 30 million times. Ordinary viruses are between a few nanometers and dozens of nanometers in size, but these microorganisms were only a few picometers in size, a unit of length 1,000 times smaller than a nanometer. This shows how small these microorganisms are. AI, continue to zoom in. I want to see what they look like individually. Captain, please be prepared. They might look a little unnerving when magnified. It's okay. Know yourself and your enemy, and you can find a way to kill them. Chapter 317. Little Clip and Solara nervously leaned against Chen Yu. The AI was controlling the detection equipment, magnifying individual samples of the virus. At 30 million times magnification, densely packed, wriggling microorganisms were visible. The AI continued to zoom in, and Chen Yu narrowed his eyes, mentally preparing himself. Little Clip looked curious, while Solara's face showed a hint of disgust. Finally, the image was magnified enough to clearly see the appearance of a single one of these microscopic organisms. Chen Yu's pupils dilated, and even Little Clip, with her unconventional thinking, was startled by this thing. Solara covered her mouth, feeling nauseous. What kind of thing was this? Well, it was a strip-shaped microscopic organism, and on such a tiny body. It was covered in barbs, and its whole body had nauseating patterns. This thing even had something like mouth parts, filled with villi. Actually, it looked okay like this, similar to many viruses on Earth, but the only thing that made it look so strange was that on one end of this strip-shaped creature, which was obviously the head, there was a ghostly face resembling a skull. Combined with the wriggling body, it looked exceptionally creepy and disgusting. Damn! What the hell is this thing? It's really disgusting and creepy enough. Chen Yu cursed. Ayu, how can a creature smaller than a virus by 1,000 times have a human skull symbol on its head? Chen Yu frowned in thought. AI, what do you think? Captain, I haven't reached any useful conclusions yet. Chen Yu continued to think, then asked. AI, what is the energy source of this microorganism? This planet has no animals, is it related to this virus-like microorganism? AI, are you saying that these viruses can create a kind of creature? But if this planet is full of this virus, then complex creatures should have formed long ago. Why can we only see plants? Captain, perhaps we haven't discovered the complex life forms they formed, or perhaps these plants also have strange secrets. Sigh, let's not talk about this for now. Continue to send out more small exploration ships and search the entire planet. If we can find the complex life formed by the proliferation of the virus, it may help us research a way to deal with this virus. Okay, Captain. After Chen Yu comforted Solara and Little Clip and sent them back to their rooms to rest, he worked with the AI to study this virus. Looking at Suro and Xiaoyushu in the transparent liquid. At this moment, the two women were lying in the glass cover, their eyes closed, seemingly asleep, peaceful and quiet. But Chen Yu knew that those ghostly things inside them, whatever they were slowly multiplying. When they reached a critical point, a mutation might occur inside, and who knows what kind of thing would be parasitized. AI, send robots to the surface to collect different kinds of plant samples. Since the plants on this planet can resist this virus, their cells may hold the answers we need. Okay, Captain, I will send robots to collect samples now. About 3 days passed. Chen Yu was in the laboratory, looking at the things displayed on the analysis instrument's large screen. How is this possible? After studying the plant samples brought back by the robots, Chen Yu discovered that these plant cells contained a large number of these microscopic virus organisms. It was as if these plants were the matrix that produced this virus. Moreover, these virus cells would rapidly gather inside the plant, forming a new complex cell life. Chen Yu and the AI's research confirmed that this complex life definitely had self-awareness and should be considered in the category of animals. But in these 3 days, the exploration ships Chen Yu sent out hadn't found a single moving animal. This was a bit weird. Fortunately, Chen Yu and the AI weren't completely without discoveries. Under the joint research of the two, the weakness of this microorganism was discovered. It was still an experiment Chen Yu did with his own blood. The blood of an interstellar stage 4 late-stage life form had an amazing killing effect on this microorganism. When these microscopic virus organisms encountered Chen Yu's blood, they would instinctively avoid it, and even dispel their behavior of gathering to form higher-level cells. In addition, the dark energy in Chen Yu's blood could also effectively kill these microorganisms. This provided Chen Yu and the AI with a direction to find out how to completely eliminate the virus in Suro and Xiaoyushu. Another 3 days passed, and Chen Yu had been soaking in the medical laboratory. He was doing an experiment when the AI's prompt sounded. Captain, according to my calculation of the orbital system of this planet belongs to a binary star system, revolving around the relatively larger star, but tonight, the planet we are currently on will enter a special gravitational pull of the other star, realizing a polar night phenomenon. Chen Yu looked at the 2 stars on the holographic screen, one larger and one smaller. There was also the orbital position of the planet he was currently on. Indeed, tonight, the planet would enter a gravitational balance point between the 2 stars. Originally, this planet had no rotation. The alternation of day and night was entirely achieved by the special operation mode of this star system. Then how long will this polar night last? Captain, this polar night phenomenon will last 23.548 days, and it will occur once every 3 times this period. Without sunlight, how do these plants absorb energy? Captain, according to my research on these plant cells, they can stop absorbing and enter a dormant state when there is no sunlight. At this time, the microscopic virus in these plants will rapidly condense, and perhaps we can find a way to deal with these viruses during this polar night. Chen Yu nodded, he also had this guess. I always feel that this planet is very strange. Perhaps, during this polar night, we will see what we want to see. Chen Yu looked out at the sky through the glass protective cover. I'm really looking forward to it. Chapter 318. Chen Yu found a depression between two huge cliffs on this planet to park the Millennium Falcon. The reason for landing on the surface was to collect samples here as quickly as possible. This would facilitate the study of the special viruses on this planet. According to the planet's orbit, the polar night was about to arrive. Generally, in this situation, the planet would experience huge air convection. Parking the Millennium Falcon in the low-lying area of the cliff could effectively avoid the invasion of sandstorms and strong convective air currents. Chen Yu was prepared to deal with the coming of the polar night on this planet. He felt that some of the strange phenomena on this planet could be found in this polar night. Intelligent brain, how long before we enter the polar night? Captain, according to our location on the planet, we will fully enter the polar night in 30 minutes. Okay, have all the sensors around the valley been set up? All set up, including life detectors, temperature detectors, radiation detectors, etc. This time, there must be something we want to see. Chen Yu looked at the green forests in front of the valley, which were full of huge plants hundreds of meters high. The cells of these things contained a large number of those strange microscopic organisms. I wonder what changes will occur in the microscopic organisms in the body after these huge plants stop photosynthesis and stop absorbing energy when the polar night arrives. Soon, half an hour passed, and the last ray of sunlight in the entire valley disappeared on the horizon. Immediately following was boundless darkness. This planet had no satellites like the moon to reflect sunlight. The screen showed the state of the entire valley, centered on the Millennium Falcon. At this moment, it was quiet outside, and there seemed to be nothing unusual. But Chen Yu always had a feeling that something would appear in this darkness. 3 days passed in a flash. There was still no situation in the valley, and the surroundings were still quiet. The surrounding sensors also did not detect any changes, except for the first 3 days of the polar night. Because the entire planet suddenly lost sunlight and the source of energy, the energy gains in various parts of the planet were uneven. During these 3 days, strong convective weather was frequent, and super hurricanes several times larger than the strongest level 12 typhoons on Earth almost occurred. As well as the super powerful giant sandstorms. The storms were not filled with sand, but large stones with diameters of 1 meter to several meters. Chen Yu now knew why the plants on this planet were so resistant. If they encountered a polar night, the huge stones in these sandstorms could turn all the fragile plants into rotten mud. The storm lasted for 3 days, and finally stopped today. Chen Yu sat in the command room, watching the situation of various parts of the planet sent back by the exploration spacecraft in space. It was almost the same as the location where the Millennium Falcon was parked. Just when Chen Yu felt that his premonition might be wrong, the mutation finally happened. Just when Chen Yu was doing a sterilization experiment on those microscopic organism viruses in the medical bay, a reminder came from the intelligent brain in his mind. Captain, an abnormal situation has been discovered in the forest in front of the valley. Chen Yu's eyes lit up. Could it finally be coming? He quickly came to the command room. On the holographic screen were images of the valley forest taken with special rays. Intelligent brain, explain the situation. What has appeared in that forest? Captain, according to the images returned by our detectors, we have discovered abnormal creatures in the forest. Chen Yu's mouth curled up. Some small red dots appeared successively on the 3-dimensional holographic screen of the Millennium Falcon's command room. They were located in the area of the forest. I knew that there were too many of those viruses in the cells of those plants. According to their characteristics, they will definitely gather to form high-level cell bodies. Intelligent brain, zoom in on the local scene of the forest. I want to see where those things came from and what they look like. Okay, Captain. The bottom hatch of the small exploration spacecraft above the forest opened. Some smaller unmanned mini-exploration aircraft rushed into the forest like a swarm of bees. Then, Chen Yu saw hundreds of pictures appearing on the holographic screen. Suddenly, one of the pictures seemed to have an abnormality and was quickly enlarged. Infrared light was used for shooting. Except for the color, which looked grey, the other clarity was good. I saw that the pistil of a giant plant actually began to squirm. Chen Yu was sure that these plants did not have pistils when he explored these forests before. Now that the pistils appeared, it was obvious that they had grown after entering the polar night. Are these wriggling pistils the things that breed those creatures? Sure enough, the wriggling of the pistils gradually became violent, and a claw-like thing suddenly stretched out from the top. It looked abnormally creepy, and the claws were covered with mucus, dark and wrinkled. What the hell is this? Chen Yu was surprised. Chapter 319. The ghostly thing inside the stamen seemed to be struggling to get out. After about a few minutes, the gap at the top of the stamen grew larger and larger, and a large reptile resembling a lizard slowly crawled out. Its skin was wrinkled, and according to spectral analysis, the skin of this lizard-like monster should be cyan purple. It had 8 legs, and even a distinct torso, head, and powerful mandibles. This should be a fierce monster, its shape suggests it has a strong attack power. As soon as the lizard reptile crawled out of the stamen, it quickly disappeared into the dense forest. Just as Chen Yu was about to switch the screen, the inside of the stamen continued to wriggle, and another claw stretched out. Chen Yu's mouth twitched. Damn, it's not just having one baby. Soon, a few minutes passed, and another lizard reptile jumped out, and then every few minutes, another one would crawl out. Seeing this situation, Chen Yu gradually frowned. If a large plant can breed so many large reptiles, then how many large reptiles will there be on the entire planet with so many giant plants? Moreover, the polar night only lasts for a little over 23 days. Where do those large reptiles go after the polar night? Chen Yu couldn't figure it out, but now was not the time to explore this. What is urgently needed now is to catch some of these large reptiles and take them back to the spaceship laboratory for research. In order to find a way to deal with this virus. Intelligence, send out a robot unit to catch some of those ugly large reptiles back for sample research. Pay attention to isolation and protection measures to avoid the safety of the more than 1,000 Messeras people in the living area of the transport cabin. Okay, Captain. Subsequently, several frigates flew out of the Millennium Falcon, carrying a powerful robot unit. The frigates sent the robots into the forest. At this moment, there were many newly born large reptiles inside. When those large reptiles saw Chen Yu's robots, they immediately turned into ferocious and brutal beasts with extremely aggressive tendencies. Several large reptiles would simultaneously besiege a robot warrior. Fortunately, the robots Chen Yu sent out this time were all equipped with the crystal armor obtained from Black God Star, which currently has several modes. It can adjust the hardness and flexibility of the armor in real time according to the battle. They were also quite strong, and for a time, it was difficult for the robots to capture those reptiles alive. Basically, what was loaded into the transport ship were the corpses of those reptiles. Intelligence, think of a way, I want live specimens of those disgusting reptiles, this is very important for our research. Okay, Captain, I am sending specially made transport ships carrying short-range transport beams, which will definitely be able to capture those living organisms. Good. Just as Chen Yu was catching live reptiles in the valley, in a space hundreds of thousands of kilometers away from this planet, a ripple formed, and a grey spaceship emerged from warp space. This spaceship was about 3 kilometers long, 1 kilometer wide, and several hundred meters high. The overall size was slightly larger than the Millennium Falcon, but this spaceship was more slender. The appearance was not very sci-fi, but rather conventional, with many laser cannons on it. Not long after this spaceship appeared, ripples rippled again in this space. A super homeworld-class spaceship with a length of 50 kilometers emerged from warp space. The two spaceships were obviously together. As soon as the two spaceships appeared hundreds of thousands of kilometers away from this planet, the detection satellite arranged by Chen Yu in the outer orbit of this planet immediately sent back the news. Captain, there is a situation in outer space. Chen Yu was shocked. What happened in space? According to the detection satellites we arranged in the outer orbit of this planet, warp fluctuations were just detected, and then two spaceships were detected emerging from warp space. Immediately shield the signals on our detection satellites, recall all exploration ships on the planet, we must hide. These two spaceships, coming here at this time, is obviously not a coincidence, perhaps it is related to the polar night of this planet, and these dense large reptiles. Okay, Captain, all the satellites and exploration ships we sent out have shielded their signal sources, and the other party will not be able to discover us on this planet. Good, now secretly monitor them, I want to see what they are here to do, since a civilization has come here, after figuring out the reason why they came here, capture them, find out the location of their home planet, I really want to know what part of the universe this is. Okay, Captain. In space, two spaceships were heading towards this planet. The people, or rather, the creatures on the spaceship, did not know that their every move was being monitored. In the command room of the spaceship with a length of 3 kilometers, a burly human man was sitting in the main seat. A row of spaceship operators was also sitting in front. The burly man's body proportions were similar to those of humans on Earth. However, their heads were slightly larger, their facial features were very rough, their bones were relatively thick, and their thighs were very strong. The man was wearing a tight-fitting blue uniform, which, from the perspective of Earthlings, was relatively wretched. Because what big men wear is tights, and they are still one-piece tights. A slightly smaller adjutant was standing next to the man, and he seemed to be reporting something to the man in front of him. Chapter 320. The adjutant reported to the captain sitting in the command seat. Captain, alas, our goal for this polar night is to collect 300 million alien reptile beasts. The Imperial Front urgently needs this batch of supplies, and we hope to complete it within 7 days. The burly man nodded. These large reptiles, except for our race, will be infected by the virus on their bodies, which will parasitize new reptile beasts. It is really a deadly weapon for our empire to open up star fields. The empire leader is preparing to develop several more planets specifically for raising these reptile beasts. The high level's appetite is not small. Land on the beast star, release the mother, and attract those reptile beasts together. Yes, Captain. Subsequently, the large and small spaceships quickly headed towards the planet named Beast Star. Inside a valley on Beast Star, Chen Yu was sitting in the command room of the Millennium Falcon spaceship. Looking at the two red dots approaching, this was the intelligent brain using a level 7 civilization's special detector to monitor the two approaching spaceships. Intelligent brain, how long before these two spaceships reach this planet? Captain, according to their current speed, they will arrive in about 3 hours. These two spaceships coming to this planet now are likely here for the polar night, and their purpose, I guess, may be related to these large reptile beasts. Captain, my guess is similar. They have a homeworld-class mothership that is 50 kilometers long, and coming here is already very unusual. Okay, continue to hide our spaceship and signal. When they arrive, let's see what they are going to do. In the 3 hours before these two alien spaceships arrived, Chen Yu's robot legion was not idle. Finally, with the help of a small spaceship carrying a transport beam, they captured dozens of live reptile beasts. Intelligent brain, have you researched these reptile beasts? Captain, as soon as these reptile beasts were sent back, I dissected one and measured their body structure, composition elements, and the cellular viruses contained within. Show it to me. Subsequently, the dissection results of this reptile beast appeared on the glass of the experimental bay. From the composition elements, this was definitely a carbon-based creature with a unique gene sequence. These reptile beasts were entirely composed of advanced cells produced by the condensation of the previous viruses. However, the most terrifying thing was that the surface of these reptile beasts, that layer of mucus, contained a large amount of high-purity virus. It was the same type of microscopic biological virus that infected Suro and Xiaoyueshu. This is a walking virus spreader. Intelligent brain, do you think the two spaceships that are coming here now are here for these disgusting reptile beasts? Captain, that possibility cannot be ruled out. Okay, how long before they arrive? They have already reached near Earth orbit, but they seem to be looking for a docking location. Can you analyze their civilization level now? Captain, according to the scanning of their spaceships, these two spaceships belong to a level 4 mid-stage civilization. Okay, just a mere level 4 mid-stage civilization, which is about the same as Earth now. We will now fly over invisibly. With their technology, they will not be able to detect us. I want to see what they are going to do. Okay, Captain. Subsequently, the surrounding detectors and robot legion in the valley's interior all returned to the interior of the Millennium Falcon spaceship. The Millennium Falcon spaceship gradually became invisible, hiding from optical and radar rays. This was the stealth technology of a level 7 peak civilization, a level 4 mid-stage civilization's detection equipment. It was impossible to detect. The Millennium Falcon spaceship quickly approached the two spaceships. With the speed of the Millennium Falcon spaceship, it soon reached the rear of the two spaceships. Now the two spaceships had landed in a huge basin. Especially that super behemoth-level homeworld-class mothership with a length of 50 kilometers. From the outside, it looked incomparably domineering, but after the intelligent brain's detection, the homeworld-class mothership was empty inside and seemed to be used only as a transport ship. This level of homeworld-class mothership could basically hold a city. Chen Yu was in the sky, overlooking the two spaceships below. At this time, a disc-shaped object had flown out from below the small spaceship. It was about 100 meters in diameter, like a flying saucer. Intelligent brain, detect what that thing is. Chapter 321. Captain, according to ray detection, the inside of that disc-shaped object is complex and precise equipment, similar to a signal generator. What are they doing installing a signal device here? Temporarily unclear, but we can wait and see. Okay, then let's see what they do after they install that thing. Next, the disc-shaped object floated to a flat open space. Then, a support leg extended from below and plunged firmly into the ground to secure it. About 10 minutes passed. The disc-shaped object then unfolded 4 fan-shaped sections from the top. Previously, the diameter of the disc was about 100 meters, now it is about 150 to 200 meters. Suddenly, the disc emitted a scattering of light. Originally, this planet had no light source, and everywhere was pitch black. But the situation below could be seen using rays of other frequencies. And now, there is no need for rays, the disc-shaped object can be seen emitting light with the naked eye. Captain, I have detected that the disc is emitting a kind of pulse wave towards the entire planet. Have you analyzed the characteristics of this wave? This wave is similar to the faint frequency of the tremors in the necks of those crawling beasts we captured before. Chen Yu's eyes lit up. Brain, do you think it's possible that they are here to attract those crawling beasts? Captain, it is very possible, the basin they chose is quite suitable for gathering those crawling beasts. Immediately, the signal from the disc generator on the surface became more and more intense. At this moment, on the entire planet, disgusting crawling insects were jumping out from those huge plants. As if sensing something, they were all frantically running towards one direction, not caring for their lives. These crawling beasts have amazing stamina and can climb mountains and cross rivers, but their eyes have turned scarlet, and they are always running wildly in one direction. Soon, some of the closest crawling beasts began to gather around this basin. Sure enough, those crawling beasts are coming. Captain, look, the hatch of that mothership-class ship has opened. It seems that there is also a small pulse transmitter inside that mothership. Those crawling beasts that rushed over were desperately rushing into the transport of the mothership-class ship. It seems that we guessed right, this mothership-class ship is here to collect these crawling beasts. How should I put it, this kind of crawling beast is a deadly weapon for some human planets. Captain, should we expose our identity now and subdue those 2 spaceships? Now that there are so many crawling beasts below, can we develop a reverse radio signal to drive these crawling beasts away from here? Captain, I can deeply encode the attraction signal emitted by their disk and recompile a driving signal. Good, these intelligent races are capturing these crawling insects, they definitely aren't doing anything good. In that case, let's ruin their plan. Okay, Captain. Before long, the AI completely deciphered the pulse wave of the disk, and quickly used live experiments to create several stimulating pulse bands. The driving effect on living bodies is very good. Subsequently, the Millennium Falcon released a pulse wave with a higher power than the disk below. It's just that these waves are signal bands that make the crawling beasts below uncomfortable. Suddenly, the crawling beasts in the entire basin seemed to be frightened. They all scattered around like crazy. Those crawling beasts that had already been detained in the mothership-class ship also became in the closed area. In the command room of that small spaceship, Captain Alas, who was in the main seat, listened to the reports from various departments. Captain, a pulse wave signal stronger than our signal has come from space, and that kind of wave can drive crawling beasts crazy. Have you discovered who is emitting the signal in space? No, it feels like that signal appeared out of thin air. The Millennium Falcon is fully stealthy, how could they possibly discover it? Could it be that a spaceship of a higher civilization has come here? Captain, what should we do? Release a common communication link signal and request to establish a conversation with the other party. Okay, Captain. At this time, in the Millennium Falcon command room. Captain, I have detected that the other party has released a signal that can establish communication. Presumably they already know that there are other spaceships present. Establish it. It's time to ask them where they came from and the location of this star field in the universe. Okay, Captain. Chapter 322. The AI quickly established a communication link with the ship below. On the holographic screen, Chen Yu saw a robust man sitting in the command chair of the other ship, with an adjutant standing beside him. It's just that their clothes are a bit sleazy, what's with a big man wearing a skin-tight suit? Captain, the other party is also a cosmic human. Oh. Aren't they afraid of being infected by those viruses? Since they dare to capture a large number of these reptiles carrying deadly viruses, they must have antibodies or means to kill this virus. If that's the case, then we might be able to get a cure for Zyro and Uesha from them. That's right, Captain. Okay, I'm going to have a good talk with them. Turn off our ship's stealth mode, it's time to reveal our true form. Yes, Captain. Subsequently, the Millennium Falcon slowly appeared in the air, and the radar of the other ship instantly captured the appearance of the Millennium Falcon. Inside the command room of the small ship on the ground, Captain Eris looked at the sci-fi design of the Millennium Falcon on the holographic screen. Just looking at the appearance, he knew that the other party's civilization level was higher than his own. Captain Eris, this must be a spaceship that surpasses our planet's civilization. What should we do now? What are you panicking about? Since they have shown themselves, they must want to communicate something with us. Let's see what they want to do. Afterwards, Eris looked at the holographic screen in charge of communication. The appearance of the Millennium Falcon's command room slowly appeared on it, and a tall and straight cosmic human man appeared in the picture. Eris was surprised that the other party was also a cosmic human. May I ask, who are you? Inside the Millennium Falcon's command room, Chen Yu saw the other party speaking and heard the other party's voice. But he couldn't understand it. AI, what's going on? What language are they speaking? Captain, they are not speaking the official language of the Milky Way and the Virgo Galaxy. It seems that this place is still very far from the Milky Way. Transmit the language comparison code and translate their language into the common language of the Milky Way. Okay, Captain. Inside the command room of the opposite ship, Eris saw that the other party was not speaking, and then the ship received a signal for the language common code. Captain Eris, the other party has sent a language comparison and deciphering code. The other party is not a civilization in our galaxy, and we need to unify the language before we can talk. Okay, let's also send our language comparison code. As the two ships sent language comparison codes to each other, they were soon able to communicate in real time. This language comparison code can encompass most of the commonly used words, and ordinary communication is completely fine. Inside the Millennium Falcon's command room. Hey, what planet are you from? Chen Yu asked directly. Inside the command room of the opposite ship, Chen Yu's voice was translated into their language in real time by the system, and the other party could understand it. Captain Eris said respectfully. We are from the planet Akels, and I am Eris, the captain of the 3rd Space Exploration Fleet. Planet Akels? Send me the star map of your planet. Chen Yu's request was obviously a bit embarrassing for Eris on the other side. This is equivalent to reporting the location of his hometown to the other party. What if the other party has bad intentions and rushes to his hometown to invade? This is a taboo in the universe. This lord, it is probably inappropriate for you to ask for the specific location of our planet as soon as you come. Chen Yu chuckled. Hehe, you have no choice. The corners of Eris's mouth twitched. Your Excellency, with all due respect, but we really cannot meet your request. Chen Yu frowned, not to mention this, anyway, there are ways to make them say it. Okay, I'll change the question. What are you doing on this planet? Chen Yu continued to ask. Eris narrowed his eyes. Your Excellency, you have already seen that we are here to collect these reptiles. What are you going to do with these reptiles? This reptile has extremely strong individual combat power, and it also harbors an extremely small microscopic organism. They are extremely dangerous and can invade the bodies of other humans to parasitize. They are biological weapons used by our planet to open up star fields. It can even be used to deal with some planets with a higher civilization level than us. Eris said bluntly, since the other party has already arrived here and discovered these reptiles. With the other party's technological level, they can grab a reptile and explore it thoroughly, so Eris did not hide anything. Since you know the danger of this reptile, aren't you afraid that this microscopic organism or virus will get out of control on your planet? Hehe, Your Excellency, you don't have to worry about this. The humans and creatures on our planet all have a dominant gene that can naturally restrain this virus you are talking about. Chen Yu's eyes lit up, and he was overjoyed. Chapter 323. These Aclay star people actually have genes that resist this microscopic virus. By utilizing this, it might be possible to develop an antitoxin. Isn't this exactly what Chen Yu wants right now? It seems he needs to capture one of these people to experiment on and see how their dominant gene works to suppress this virus. To be honest, some people on my spaceship have been infected with this virus. Do you have any way to eliminate it for me? Upon hearing this, Alas was overjoyed. As long as the other party needed them, they wouldn't be in danger. Of course, there was a way to suppress this virus, the antitoxin developed by their planet. This antitoxin was prepared for those indigenous residents who made significant contributions during the invasion of other planets. As long as they surrendered, they could have a chance to survive. However, their antitoxin didn't provide lifelong immunity. Once the antitoxin's effectiveness wore off, the virus would continue to ravage the infected person's body. This was actually the Aclay Star people's method of controlling other races. Your Excellency, if someone on your spaceship is infected with this virus, we have corresponding antitoxin reagents and can even provide them for you. Chen Yu narrowed his eyes. Why did they agree so readily? Didn't they have any requests? There must be something fishy about this. Speak up, what are your requirements? Hehe, we only hope that your Excellency won't interfere with our capture of the reptile beasts on this planet. Chen Yu revealed a meaningful smile. Alright, I don't want to interfere with your planet invading other planets, so I won't interfere with your capture of these reptile beasts either. Then send over a batch of antitoxin reagents. Okay, please keep your word, Your Excellency. Chen Yu waved his hand and ended the communication. Subsequently, from the cargo hold of the ship below, a small spaceship slowly approached. Then, it gradually approached Chen Yu's Millennium Falcon. Brain, open the isolation cargo hold. They definitely won't be that honest. Okay. The isolation cargo hold on the Millennium Falcon opened. The other party's small spaceship, as if knowing where to dock, slowly flew into the isolation cargo hold. A robotic arm on the small spaceship placed a box inside the hold and then slowly flew away. Brain, close the isolation cargo hold door and thoroughly scan the box. Okay, Captain. Captain, scan complete. No anomalies detected. Okay, send a robot to take the box to the medical bay. Chen Yu came to the outside of the medical bay, watching the robotic arm's operation through the glass. The box was opened, and an invisible cloud of dust, or rather, it should be a high-concentration virus, was ejected. It was extremely concealed. Even with Chen Yu's stellar rank 4 late-stage life-form eyesight, he didn't see the extremely tiny virus spreading. However, the medical bay of a level 7 civilization had high-dimensional detection equipment. When a mechanism in the box ejected the high-concentration microscopic organisms, the entire medical bay lit up red and began to sound an alarm. Captain, there's a mechanism in the box. It just released a high-concentration beast star virus. Humph, I knew those bastards wouldn't be so honest. They think there are infected people on my spaceship, so they assume everyone might be infected. That's why they took the risk of releasing the virus inside our spaceship. How naive. Captain, there are indeed antitoxin reagents in the box. No need to guess, this antitoxin definitely isn't permanently effective. We can conduct research to see the principle of this antitoxin. Okay, you study it carefully first. Let's pretend we haven't noticed their trick. Okay, Captain. 2 cold beams shot out from Chen Yu's eyes. This is what you forced me to do. Since you want to die so much, then I'll grant your wish. Not only will I kill you, but I'll also go to your planet to see what part of the universe this is. Inside the ground spaceship command room. Captain Alas, will our plan succeed? The adjutant asked. Alas, sitting in the main seat, revealed a sly smile. Humph, they have infected people on their spaceship, which proves that their race can't resist this microscopic virus infection. Our device is almost undetectable. The virus will spread in the air of their spaceship. When everyone on their spaceship is infected, especially the captain who spoke earlier, we can use the virus to control him. Then, this advanced civilization's spaceship and their technology will all belong to us. Oh my, Captain, your plan is simply amazing. Hehe, let's wait and see. Chapter 324. Inside the medical bay of the Millennium Falcon spaceship, the AI-controlled robotic arm retrieved the antitoxin serum from the box. AI, analyze the composition of this antitoxin serum and see the principle by which it kills those beast star viruses. Okay, Captain. Subsequently, the AI extracted these antitoxin serums and used live beast star viruses to conduct experiments. At this moment, the two spaceships on the ground below were not idle. The reverse pulse signal released by Chen Yu earlier had caused the Beast Star crawlers to lose control. This led to the interior of the Arkless Star's home-class mothership being ravaged by the crawlers. These Arkless Star people were urgently repairing the cabins inside the spaceship where those crawlers were held. That small spaceship was Captain Alas's command ship. At this moment, inside the command room, Alas sat quietly, waiting for instructions from the people in the Millennium Falcon spaceship above. Alas believed that once the other party injected the antitoxin serum he provided, and the virus in their body was brought under control, they would definitely compromise. Captain Alas, do you think our plan will succeed? Alas revealed a wise look. Humph, although their civilization level is higher than ours, they are also humans. As long as they don't have the dominant gene in our bodies, they will definitely be infected by the Beast Star virus and become a furnace. I don't believe they can develop a real way to kill this microscopic virus. The reason Alas was confident was because this virus was an extremely stubborn and tiny organism. As for where it came from, even the Arkless Star people didn't know, perhaps it was deployed by a higher civilization. And the Arkless Star people have only been able to create an antitoxin serum that suppresses the virus. They also have no way to completely eliminate the Beast Star virus in infected individuals. At this moment, inside the medical bay of the Millennium Falcon spaceship, Chen Yu frowned as he watched the AI-controlled robotic arm performing various studies in the cabin. Chen Yu occasionally communicated with the AI on the side. Now both of them were super experts in the field of medical science. Captain, according to my experiments, these antitoxin serums do have the effect of suppressing the virus, but they cannot kill them. They can only make them enter hibernation. When an enzyme in the antitoxin serum is completely consumed, those viruses will continue to be activated and wreak havoc in the organism. Humph, I had already guessed it. They couldn't possibly hand over a truly permanent antitoxin serum. Captain, is it possible that they themselves don't have a serum that can truly eliminate this virus in organisms? There is this possibility. This virus shouldn't actually be considered a virus, but a kind of parasite. Although it seems like there are many of them, these microscopic organisms seem to be a whole. Finally, they recombine to form a new life form, and the infected person is a furnace. Yes, Captain. However, this microscopic organism subverts some conventional parasitic concepts. Based on experience, this should be a man-made microscopic organism virus, but I don't think this low-level civilization can create it. It should be a product of a higher civilization. It doesn't matter. At least, we now know that interstellar Tier 3 and above life forms can effectively immunize against this virus. We need to start from this aspect and study ways to overcome this virus. Okay, Captain. Chen Yu then continued to work with the AI to begin antibody research. As for the Arkless Star spaceship below, Chen Yu ignored them. Seeing that there was no response from above, Alas continued to activate the maternal body simulation signal, attracting a large number of crawlers from the planet to the basin. Chen Yu simply didn't care what those Arkless Star people were doing. When he develops a real antitoxin serum, he will destroy that home-class spaceship together, along with those disgusting big crawlers. Time flew by in a week. The task of the Arkless Star fleet below was to collect 300 million Beast Star crawlers. Now it was also the final stage. Inside the entire 50-kilometer-long giant home-class mothership, it was almost filled with crawlers. If an ordinary person went in for a look, who knows how scared they would be. Everywhere was densely packed with crawlers, with a layer of mucus wriggling on their bodies, all filled with that terrifying Beast Star virus. If even one of these things fell to the current Earth, I'm afraid it would wipe out all of humanity. It's simply terrifying. Inside the medical bay of the Millennium Falcon spaceship, Chen Yu was doing the last experiment. These days, he and the AI have finally figured out how to deal with these Beast Star viruses. With the knowledge in the AI's Level 7 Civilization Technology Library, it was still possible to find a way to deal with this virus. It just takes a little time to experiment. Chen Yu listened. Good, they have so many crawlers, this time they must be going to attack a not small planet, even the other side is stronger than them. Suddenly, Chen Yu's eyes lit up. Haha, succeeded, the experiment succeeded. Chapter 325. Captain, the experiment is a success. The permanent virus elimination agent we developed has a 100% success rate. Humph, so those Arkless Star people are useless now? Quickly unfreeze Zyro and Yueshu, I'm going to inject them with the antiviral agent. Yes, Captain. In the basin, the Acles Star's home-class mothership slowly closed the huge loading bay doors. They had collected enough crawling beasts, their mission was complete, and it should have been time to leave. But in the command room of that small spaceship, Alas was excitedly waiting. Waiting for the infection status of the human race on this sci-fi, advanced civilization spaceship in the sky. If they were all infected, they would definitely ask him for the antiviral agent. Then he could easily manipulate this advanced civilization's human race. Alas looked at the sci-fi Millennium Falcon spaceship on the holographic screen, almost drooling. Oh my, if this spaceship recognizes me as its master, wouldn't I be able to return to the home planet and become the planetary chief? Ha ha ha. This agent was developed through the extraction of blood from Chen Yu and Solara's bodies. Combined with dark energy, it produced advanced mutation genes. The two women, who had already been unfrozen, were exactly the same as when they entered. Their skin hadn't even changed color from being immersed in that liquid. AI, detect the virus reproduction situation in Zyro and Yuesha's bodies. Okay, Captain, detection successful. The virus in both individuals is about to reach the critical point of aggregating and leaping in life level. Please inject the antiviral agent in time, Captain. Okay, inject. Subsequently, 2 tubes of blue agent were pushed into Suro and Yuesha's bodies by the injector. When the antiviral agent entered the two women's bodies, it quickly began to fuse with the microscopic organisms in their bodies. Once those microscopic viruses came into contact with the components in the antiviral agent, they immediately transformed into a kind of inactive carbon-based enzyme. With human circulation, it would gradually be excreted from the body. Captain, the virus in Miss Suro and Miss Yuesha's bodies is being rapidly killed. It is estimated that in 30 minutes, the virus in both individuals will be completely cleared. Ha ha ha, good, then after the virus in my wife's bodies is cleared, it's time to deal with those Acles Star people below. By the way, conduct a comprehensive internal inspection of the Millennium Falcon to avoid the several thousand Messeras Star people in the loading bay living area from being infected. Okay, Captain. Half an hour passed, and Suro and Yuesha slowly woke up. Now there were no viruses in their bodies, and because they had been injected with the antiviral serum, they would permanently retain this serum in their bodies, so that they would never be invaded by this beast star virus again. It was equivalent to forming antibodies in their bodies. After the two women woke up, they only felt like they had taken a nap. In fact, more than 10 days had passed in the middle. Chen Yu, thank you, I knew you would find a way to save us. Husband, it's so good to see you again. Chen Yu hugged his two wives in his arms. After a moment of tenderness, a fierce look appeared on Chen Yu's face. Humph, it's time to avenge you. The previous civilization of this planet must have been destroyed by this Acles star using this virus. They brought the virus. AI, establish a communication connection with them, it's time to settle the score. Okay, Captain. In the small spaceship below, Captain Alas had been waiting for the communication request from the spaceship above. The communications soldier in the front row reported. Captain, the spaceship above is sending a communication signal. Quickly connect, it must be that a large number of humans on their spaceship have been infected and they are here to compromise with us. Ha ha ha. Before Alas could finish laughing, Chen Yu's voice rang in the cabin. Oh. What are you laughing at? Alas quickly restrained his expression, but this time his back was obviously much straighter, he was sure that the other party was here to compromise. Your Excellency, what can I do for you? It's nothing, I just want to know, where is your home planet, and also, this planet wasn't like this before, why did this virus appear, and did you destroy the entire planet? Alas didn't expect the other party to ask this. But there was nothing to be gained by telling the other party the truth now, but Alas really wanted to remind the other party. Your Excellency, if there are humans on your spaceship infected with this virus, it is impossible to completely eliminate this virus. Only by injecting our planet's antiviral agent within a certain period of time. I think you should know that, right? Stop talking nonsense, answer the question I just asked you. These viral organisms should not be something that your planet's civilization can create, and under my research, I judge that it has a high degree of artificial carving traces. This is a man-made virus, aren't you going to explain it? Alas was shocked, how could he know these things? Their planet's current civilization level. It is not enough to conduct such in-depth research on these viruses. Your Excellency, I don't know what you are talking about. These viruses appeared on our planet millions of years ago. At that time, many people on our planet also died. Later, I don't know why, the human race on our planet, and other creatures, suddenly had antibodies. Chen Yu was puzzled. This matter was very strange. It seemed that he must go to their planet to take a look. Okay, I'll give you a chance. Give me the star chart of your planet, and tell me, where is this place in the universe? Chapter 326. Chen Yu's attitude clearly stunned Captain Alas. Shouldn't there be a large number of infected humans on the other party's spaceship? Since they were infected with this virus that has no means of being eliminated, that means they were under his control. Now, the other side's attitude shows they don't take him seriously at all. Alas believed that this alien race was just bluffing, so his tone became playful. Your Excellency, your tone is a bit impolite. It's impossible for me to tell you the location of our planet. And on your spaceship, haven't you felt anything unusual? Alas asked directly. He believed that the other party was just bluffing, and there must be many people on the spaceship who had already been infected. It's just that, due to being an advanced civilization, they are still struggling to hold on. They would never have imagined that. That kind of microvirus is fundamentally impossible to remove from a living body. They will hide secretly, infiltrating every cell of the organism. Chen Yu was speechless. This ignorant fellow below actually started to become arrogant. Did they really think they had him under control? Heh, I'll give you one more chance. Send me the star chart and coordinates of your planet's location, and don't force me to take action against you. Alas sat in the command room of his spaceship, his expression very unsightly. The adjutant next to him whispered. Captain, have they already found a method to counter the microvirus, so they are speaking so toughly? Alas narrowed his eyes, then confidently said. Humph, impossible. Even if a level 5 civilization came, they wouldn't be able to crack this virus. Could they be a civilization beyond level 5? On the holographic screen, the outline of the Millennium Falcon spaceship was displayed. Alas and the adjutant frowned as they looked at it. Judging from the appearance alone, it is indeed sci-fi, but that's all. This made Alas feel that the Millennium Falcon spaceship was at most a level 5 civilization spaceship. Little did he know that this was a super technological civilization of level 7 peak, second only to God-level civilization. The virus that the Acreus people cannot decipher does not mean that Chen Yu's AI brain cannot decipher it. I'll give you one last minute. If you don't hand over what I want, you can all go to hell. But even if you don't actively say it, I have ways to know where your planet is. Chen Yu said coldly again. This time, Alas felt uneasy. Why wouldn't these alien races compromise with him? Aren't they afraid of the virus breaking out, causing their spaceship to be filled with those crawling beasts? Your Excellency, let me tell you the truth. The inside of your spaceship is very likely to have been infected by the Beast Star virus. Only our planet's antivirus agent can delay the outbreak of the virus in your body. If you do nothing and let the virus develop, your body will eventually explode, and crawling beasts will emerge from inside. Chen Yu sneered. Alas, sometimes aliens don't necessarily have vision. You can't handle the virus, but you think I can't handle saving people? Ignorance. AI, truth is only within the range of a cannon. Destroy that eyesore of a homeworld class mothership for me. I'm disgusted by those hateful reptiles. Okay, Captain, preparing a low-yield antimatter bomb. Preparation successful, energy storage successful, ready to launch at any time. Launch. Chapter 327. With Chen Yu's command. A beam of black light, invisible in this environment, shot out, accompanied by a low-yield antimatter bomb. The target was the Akel Super Homeland class mothership, 50 kilometers in length. Inside the command room of the Eris spacecraft on the ground, there were no alarm sounds. The antimatter bomb launched by Chen Yu had a cloaking technology that only civilizations of at least level 6 could master. This made it impossible for the Akel's eons below to detect the antimatter bomb. The antimatter bomb arrived in an instant. When it struck the 50-kilometer-long Akel Super Homeland class mothership, a chain reaction was quickly triggered, and the strange energy matter inside rapidly combined with dark matter, instantly forming a high-density substance. Then, without even a sound, the supergiant Homeland class mothership was seen. As if being sucked into a small point, it began to slowly disintegrate, and then turned into fragments that were directly sucked into a single point. In just a few dozen seconds, such a behemoth disappeared without a trace. There was no smoke or dust, not even a sound. It was like watching a silent movie, and such a large spaceship was gone. In the command room of a small Ecclesian spaceship parked in the distant hinterland, Eris and the adjutant, as well as all the crew members in the spaceship, watched the scene in disbelief. Eris's mouth was wide open, and the surrounding crew members were so scared that they pissed themselves. The adjutant fell directly to the ground, with liquid seeping between his legs. At this moment, a cold and indifferent voice sounded in the command room. "Well, can you tell me the location of your planet now? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. If you don't tell me, you can all go on your way together." Eris was completely dumbfounded. Wasn't the other party seeking something from him? How dare they attack? Moreover, the methods the other party had just used were methods that their level 4 intermediate civilization could not master or even imagine. Just like that, his own super homeland class mothership disappeared into thin air. This Nima, with such methods, they must have at least entered level 5 civilization, or even level 5 late stage civilization. Eris finally knew that he was afraid of encountering a real big shot this time. Your Excellency, we have no malice towards you, please don't attack us. Open the core permissions of your spaceship, I'll only give you one chance. Suddenly, various laser cannons extended from the inside of the Millennium Falcon spaceship below. Eris finally understood the power of the spaceship above his head when he saw the image on the holographic screen. He quickly relented, and now he could only obey the other party. Your Excellency, I can do as you say, but please be sure to let us and my planet go. Don't worry, I'm just an alien civilization wandering here. I'm not interested in the battles between your planets. I just want to know where I am now. Eris was puzzled, since they could come here, how could they not know how they came? Your Excellency, with all due respect, since you can appear here, why don't you know where this is? To be honest with you, I came to this place from a place in the universe through a wormhole. Wormhole? Your Excellency, I have a secret that I would like to use to exchange for the chance for me and our planet to survive, is that okay? Oh, what secret? Is it about the wormhole? Yes. Then tell me first. Please agree first, and then I will tell you. Hehe, you really know how to bargain. Chen Yu let out a sneer. Chapter 328. Aras, the captain, was sweating profusely. This advanced human civilization was truly unyielding. He could only truthfully say, Your Excellency, we have also discovered wormholes on our planet, but we don't know if they are the kind you are looking for. Chen Yu's eyes lit up. Oh, tell me quickly, where is that wormhole? I don't know either. The coordinates of the wormhole should only be known by our planet's Academy of Sciences. If you let me go, I can have our planet's Academy of Sciences give you the coordinates of that wormhole. Heh, no need. You just need to tell me where your planet is, and I'll go ask myself. Aras began to feel troubled. If he told the other party, and if this advanced human civilization didn't keep their word, and killed him here before going to his home planet. What if they destroyed the planet? He knew that these advanced human races beyond level 5 civilization had the means to instantly destroy a planet. Your Excellency, you must agree to my request and not harm me or my planet, and I will tell you immediately. Heh, you really have no choice. You can only gamble on my character. I believe that Your Excellency, as a human of an advanced civilization, still has some integrity. Aras said helplessly. Okay, I promise you. Then thank you very much, Your Excellency. Subsequently, the Millennium Falcon received a starfield coordinate and a starfield map within tens of millions of light years nearby. AI, check the authenticity of this starfield map. On the Arkless star spaceship in the hinterland of the Beast Star, Aras looked at the holographic screen and asked the deputy. Has that spaceship really left? The deputy was also unclear and could only vaguely say. Captain, it should have left, right? That's good. I hope they won't target our home planet. At this moment, in the command room of the Millennium Falcon, Chen Yu frowned. He always felt that leaving like this, leaving the Beast Star full of harmful viruses, was a major hidden danger. AI, prepare a gravity bomb to completely erase that planet. Keeping those crawling beasts is also a hidden danger. Just consider it my contribution to the safety of the surrounding starfields. Okay, Captain, the black hole singularity energy material we have collected is sufficient, and the number of gravity bombs is also considerable. Okay, Launch one and let that planet disappear. Captain, the gravity bomb has been launched, and the Millennium Falcon is immediately entering warp space. In the hinterland of the Beast Star, Captain Aras, who thought he was safe, was celebrating in the command room. But they didn't rejoice for too long. A gravity bomb rapidly approached the planet from the darkness. The moment it touched the ground, a chain reaction began, and a large amount of matter gathered. This time, the AI launched a large yield gravity bomb, which could cause a chain effect without having to penetrate deep inside the planet. A large amount of matter from the Beast Star was sucked into the singularity of the gravity bomb's explosion. In the command room of the Arkless Star spaceship, a violent alarm suddenly sounded. Warning, warning, the planet is being attracted by an unknown gravitational source. The planet is rapidly disintegrating, the planet is rapidly disintegrating. Aras's pupils dilated in the command room. Ah, is this the planet-destroying method of advanced civilizations? They never intended to let this planet go. Captain, we must leave here quickly, otherwise we will be destroyed along with this planet. Yes, 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 climb with all our strength, leave this planet, quickly output all the power to the light-speed engine. The spaceship slowly floated up and flew towards deep space. But the gravity bomb launched by Chen Yu could suck in an entire planet into the singularity, let alone a spaceship a few kilometers long. Warning, the spaceship is being pulled by a strong gravitational force and is about to disintegrate, about to disintegrate. In the command room, Aras and many crew members watched this scene in despair. In that black vortex, a large amount of lightning was gathering. And the matter on the planet was being absorbed by that vortex, a terrifying thing like a blood basin's mouth. Ah, I'm not reconciled, why am I dying like this, I'm really not reconciled. Suddenly, the Arkless Star spaceship quickly disintegrated, turning into small pieces, and was sucked into the vortex. Chapter 329. A few minutes later, peace returned to the area. In the darkness, only a clump of ultra-dense matter, a mere few meters in diameter, remained. Or rather, a small, compact sphere similar to a neutron star, floated in its original location. The reptilian creatures from the planet, the Achilles starships, and even the human race, had all been compressed into a tightly packed collection of atomic nuclei. Its density was so high that a single spoonful would likely weigh as much as the moon. Meanwhile, Chen Yu and his Millennium Falcon had already entered warp space. They were heading towards Achilles, located 11 million light-years away. In less than a day, the Millennium Falcon arrived at Achilles. This time, Chen Yu made no attempt to hide, the Millennium Falcon appeared directly within the planet's atmosphere. Intelli Brain, connect to this planet's network. I need to know everything about this planet. There was no need to perform code matching again when connecting with the ships of this planet. The communication was quickly established. A warning came from the other side. We are the Achilles Star Interstellar Defense Fleet. Please state your identity and purpose. Chen Yu sat comfortably in the spaceship's recliner, looking at the surrounding Achilles ships with great contempt. I am from a distant star region, a high-level civilization. I've come to obtain your planet's location in the current cosmic star region, and I want to know the specific coordinates of the wormhole you discovered. The other side was silent for a moment, seemingly consulting with their superiors. After a while, a voice came again. Very well, guest from a distant star region, please follow our escort fleet to the alien reception area on our planet. Okay, lead the way. Chen Yu simply followed the escort fleet, wanting to learn about the wormhole from the materials in their planet's Academy of Sciences. He would definitely need to meet with their high-level officials to do that. And so, the escort fleet flew across most of the planet before reaching their reception area. During this time, Chen Yu carefully examined the planet's environmental conditions. The planet's size was surprisingly similar to Earth's, with a diameter of just over 13,000 kilometers. The gravity and air composition were also remarkably similar. The mountains and rivers were also similar to those of Earth, except that this planet's star had already aged severely. This caused the overall temperature of the planet to be more than half that of Earth. Even near the equator of this planet, the temperature was only a little over 10 degrees Celsius, and in the northern latitudes, it was only a few degrees, or even below zero. However, it was not too extreme. Most of the planet's inhabitants lived near the equator, where the average annual temperature was only 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. The Millennium Falcon, escorted by numerous Achilles star escorts, arrived on a huge island near the equator. This should be their planet's capital. The Millennium Falcon slowly landed on a huge platform. Chen Yu could already see many welcoming aircraft and the planet's human race below through the glass. In a moment, I'll go down alone to meet with their highest-ranking officials. You guys stay on the ship. You, won't it be dangerous for you to go down alone? Solala asked worriedly. Humph, no matter what, I'm now a late-stage star domain level 4 life form. These level 4 mid-stage civilization humans can't possibly be stronger than me. Don't worry. Alright, be careful. Chen Yu walked out of the Millennium Falcon's hatch alone, and after a flash of golden light, Chen Yu appeared in front of those Akala's human race high-level officials below. At this time, the Millennium Falcon used a transport laser line to instantly send Chen Yu to the ground. Seeing Chen Yu's appearance being so dazzling, the Akala's high-level officials on the opposite side exclaimed in unison. An old man who looked very old took a step forward and respectfully said, "Welcome, friend from a high-level civilization, I am Axe, the planet chief of Akalas. I know, take me to your planet's Academy of Sciences. I want to know about your discovery of the wormhole." Chapter 330. Chen Yu directly stated his purpose, replying with the real-time translator on his neck. The planet head of Akals frowned and said, "Your Excellency, we can provide you with the specific location of the wormhole, but I would like to know, why do you want to find the wormhole, and where do you come from?" Chen Yu looked towards the sky. Where did he come from? Following the planet head of Akals, he entered a luxurious and enormous palace. Chen Yu looked up, down, left, and right, examining the building. It must be quite old. It was gilded everywhere, somewhat similar to Earth's aesthetics. Everything around was glittering, perhaps in the eyes of the human race of the universe, shiny things are good things. Many people had already gathered in the hall. Judging by their clothes, they were all wearing uniforms similar to tights. The uniforms clearly outlined the curves of their bodies, which Chen Yu really couldn't appreciate. Even the female humans didn't have very good figures. Short legs and long waists, their body proportions were obviously not harmonious for the human race. Aix introduced Chen Yu. "Your Excellency, these are the ruling class of our Akals planet, our royal family members and top officials." Chen Yu walked past them as if inspecting troops, only exchanging a glance with them. Now he represents the level 7 peak civilization of this Hina mother planet, so Chen Yu naturally has arrogance towards these low-level civilizations. Following the planet head of Akals, he sat down in the main seat, and many maids came out from behind to serve food. Every time Chen Yu arrives at a life planet, especially a human life planet, he likes to study their ingredients. The superfruit trees that can be used as food on Earth now, as well as the large economic livestock that can replace pork, beef, and mutton, were all discovered by Chen Yu on other planets. Chen Yu looked at the plates of food being served in front of him, and became extremely curious. However, the necessary vigilance was still indispensable. Chen Yu asked the Zhina in his mind. "Zhina, test whether these ingredients are harmful to my body. Will I be poisoned if I eat these things?" "Okay, Captain." Immediately, Chen Yu's eyes released a kind of advanced ray, which the equipment of these Akals planets could not detect at all. "Captain, I just released a ray to test these foods. The elements inside have no effect on you. You can eat them safely, but these foods contain a large number of beast star viruses. I'm sure these viruses were added later." Chen Yu sneered, as expected. This mother planet, which specializes in collecting beast star reptiles, must be very good at using this virus. This Aix planet head is probably thinking of double-crossing him, after knowing that he doesn't even know where he came from. He even had designs on his spaceship. It seems he wants to take over his spaceship. Sure enough, people who can use this virus to invade other planets are really not good people. Now Chen Yu has labeled this planet as evil in his heart. The Aix planet head was a little flustered, watching Chen Yu staring blankly at the food of his planet. Could it be that the other party can see that there is a beast star virus in it? That's impossible, this virus is very small, and it can't be seen with the naked eye at all. Where did Aix know that Chen Yu and Zhina had already learned about this virus, so they could accurately detect its existence? Your Excellency, is the food on our planet not to your liking?" Chen Yu sneered, this Aix probably doesn't know that he is a stage 4 late-stage life form in the interstellar realm. These so-called microscopic biological viruses cannot survive in his body at all. For Chen Yu, these foods are no different from ordinary foods. No, then I'll try the food on your planet. Chen Yu picked up something similar to a knife and fork next to him, and started to attack a piece of something that looked like a small animal. This small animal seemed to have the head of a pig, and the hind half of a snake. This peculiar creature was taken out whole and roasted before being placed on the table. Chen Yu was very surprised, so he inserted a piece of meat from it and slowly sent it towards his mouth. The ape's planet head next to him widened his eyes, watching Chen Yu's movements nervously and expectantly. The surrounding high-level officials and royal family members were also highly nervous. They knew what was in those foods. Once this alien from a higher civilization is infected with the beast star virus that their planet is proud of, then even a god can't save him. Wouldn't that spaceship of a higher civilization belong to their planet? The ape's planet head was preparing to take the initiative to hand over the virus-inhibiting agent after Chen Yu was infected with the virus. This kind of agent needs to be injected regularly, so that Chen Yu can be completely controlled. At that time, the core technology in his spaceship can be used as a threat with the agent, so he is not afraid that Chen Yu will not hand it over. Chen Yu saw the faces of the ape's planet head and the surrounding royal high-level officials. He sneered in his heart, "Just this little trick, what a pity, you have mistaken the person."